between my hands.
Ah, kind of. You ever see those videos of the people? There's like a minus, a plus, and a add more button or something like that. I don't even know what it is. And there's a piece of paper on the ground, and they throw in a fidget toy, and then they like slap their desk like do 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 for more, or slap their desk for less, and then they trade.
I do not.
Okay, it was like a really big thing. Uh, say like a year ago, 2 years ago. I'll have to find something for you. It's just part of the internet now. Yes, thing in the past.
Hello.
Nah, nah. Hello, Taylor. Hello. So we are excited. I feel like Esty and I have both kind of had a day, honestly, from the sounds of things. But this should cheer us up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about Arcane. Oh wait, did you wanna get the watch party?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Probably should have
Yeah.
done that before.
Yeah, but that's okay.
That's okay.
We've got a day.
Had a day. We were just talking about fidget toys and things. How do you feel about fidget toys? Like, do you have any fidget toys? I feel like I do use
No.
fidget toys, but they're not like actually fidget toys.
Yeah, obviously I need one, but no, I don't have any. So I'm quite literally just using. I don't. I'm sure you guys may. I mean, Silly said that she heard it a little bit, but I was using a keychain as a fidget toy last stream. I just need something to play with my hands while we're talking.
I mean, I do the same thing though, but I'll like rub my
Yeah.
thumb over something smooth, be it like the back of my own hand. Like it doesn't really need to be a fidget toy.
Yeah, there's like a little crevice inside this keychain that I just keep saying it hurts. It hurts. It
What?
causes me physical discomfort. But I just keep putting my finger into it.
Okay. Right. I'm sending you the link. Hopefully it works.
So
But
getting my
yes,
caffeine ready.
I think you said no. You said episode 3 was your favorite. So this is just both of our middle favorite episodes so far,
Yeah.
right? I think we're good to go.
Yes, I'm in the watch party. They are good.
Right. Here we go. Let's just get started because I really want to talk about a lot of things in this episode. And last time it took us shockingly 3 hours. So we're gonna keep on pace. Cause remember halfway through last time I was like, oh, we gotta pick up the pace.
Yeah.
Uh, it's it still took a while. It still took a while. We
It took 3 hours, you know.
okay. So we open up with a. This is already a question. SD and I haven't talked about our thoughts on this at all because we kind of want to capture it live, but I took it as a non-literal moment between Jinx and Silco. Silco being dead now, and Jinx in the water with him. The same water imagery that we see in season 1 of Silco when he was feeling like he was drowning.
Yeah.
I have heard though that some people think this is how his body was disposed of because we did never really get the answer of where his body went. I don't know if it matters too much, but I mean, I guess it would make sense for Jinx to take him here to let him go. Like maybe that's her perception of where he'd want to be. But I took it as like a metaphorical, poetic moment of a lot of things happening. But I don't know. What did you
Yeah.
think? Was it literal
I,
for you?
no, I took this very much as like her own internal dialogue after the fact, because like the way that she's talking, I mean, it definitely could be. I mean, seeing it in that sense, I could see how you could see it.
Okay.
And I guess we don't really get a clear cut answer on where Silco's body does go after all that,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody even knows that Jinx did it, and like somebody put holes in the Silco. They just know that Silco disappeared. But like,
They do
I
know
mean,
he's dead, and they only find
yeah,
out Smeech, right? Smeech,
yeah,
Smeech finds out later on that
that it was Jinx.
it was Jinx, and that kind of scares him. So I
Yeah,
guess we know that he's. I don't know. He just knows he. People know he was killed.
Yeah,
But
I didn't take this literally. I will say.
okay,
It looks like it. I think it's very metaphorical for her because of the whole baptism scene that they had in season one.
yeah.
So I can see why she would imagine it this way. But
I
yeah, no,
mean,
I didn't take this
it was a strong
literally.
choice to have it be water because I mean
Mhm.
earlier with Caitlyn in the funeral scene we had that lyric of like drowning water so deep and that
Mhm.
there's just a lot of water and then there's
I
rain,
would say, yeah, it's very deep too. So like she
deep
can hold her
water.
breath for a while.
Yeah, there is. So maybe it's not literal. Oops, but I liked this scene to open up because it kind of set us up with okay, we're gonna be focusing on Jinx this time around, and we spend this episode for the majority of it, I think, in Zaun.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
I,
but this thing surrounds Jinx, I would say.
yeah, this moment though, she's directly talking to us. How did you react to that?
Um, I didn't react to that much. Mainly because I saw this more of less of her talking to herself or talking to us, and more of her talking to herself, which is maybe odd. But like I put that she's like very lost. Like she feels like she's very lost, like in her own thoughts, and like she's trying to combat herself. Like she doesn't even blame herself for anything that happens. She even says like there's a line in here where she goes like, "Who would put all those holes into you?"
I don't.
But
Yeah, it's like a criticism of herself.
I wouldn't even call it of herself. I would call that pushing blame onto Powder.
Oh,
I said
I like that reading of it. That's
yeah,
interesting.
I specifically wrote down that da, 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 she's lost, she doesn't know how to feel, which makes yeah, which like, she doesn't know how to like her own feelings, which makes me think that's why she did what she did in season one, like killing Silco. But she specifically says that like who would do that to you, as if it wasn't her. Like she's not taking the blame. She
Mm,
does not take the blame for anything that happened, which I found very interesting.
okay. Uh, I guess
Spoon.
spoon, spoon. Hey ho hum. So I think in the beginning, being like directly spoken to was kind of. I mean, I felt directly spoken to. I can see how it doesn't come across that way though. It was like because things
Mhm.
are. She's basically like, hey, things mm, are not going great here underground, and I felt like a narrative choice to let us know that right away.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the voiceover felt like something only maybe Jinx could get away with
Yeah.
because it's very like
She has a
chaotic
very
internal.
internal dialogue.
Yeah,
Very yeah.
and then I have put a note too about when she was first speaking, she kind of felt a little bit like she was being a bit somber about Vi and Silco, kind of the grief, a little bit sad. But then she had that line which switched it around for me, which she was like always bossing me around. Very
Mhm.
heavy emphasis on bossing. And I was
Yeah,
like,
she almost seemed bitter. Like she's no, just bitter. Like she's almost like not happy that Silco's gone, obviously, but like she's free of something, or like maybe she lost that thing in her life.
mm-hmm,
Like she lost a person that she can rely on. Like like the way that she's lived her life is always under somebody, and now she doesn't have anybody anymore. She's completely lost anybody to rely on. She has to rely on herself now.
yeah, she's untethered to anything. She's literally floating in a big thing of water. But yeah, I
Um,
was like interesting line about the bossing me around.
that's an that's an interesting question from Taylor. Was Silco the only other character who had a voiceover monologue? I actually don't know.
I was thinking, racking through my head before we started. I think it was just these two. I couldn't remember the one. Like I really did rack through my brain. If it was, it might have been Vi for some reason. I think, but I don't know. At least not one that stands out so much.
Yeah, so
And
those two are the only two that really stand out, and I think Jinx is a little more constant.
and then also thought it was interesting how we decided to open up this way. I think it helped get us into the frame less literally of where she's at, and then more so in the frame of what's going on inside her mind.
Yeah. This
Oh.
definitely feels like she's racking her brain, like trying to figure out where she should go from here.
Well, she's definitely decided by the end of the scene. Like
Mhm.
I took her
And
letting
Sevika even says that later on.
yeah, but like this when she's letting go of Silco and Silco
Yeah,
eventually makes it to the bottom. I'm like, okay, I think she realized she has to let him go and is doing her own thing now.
yeah. She's realizing that this is like maybe this could be Soko. This could be reminiscent of her becoming a new person again.
Another
Maybe
baptism.
yeah, yeah, but maybe the first baptism really wasn't as symbolic to Jinx as it was to Silco.
This one's for her this
This
time.
this one is for her. This one is of her own design, I guess.
Yeah, I like it. So solid way to open up. It set the tone pretty well, and then we have our opening, which we went through last time. So
Hmm.
we at least are not going to do that again. And then we
Okay.
have the song that I've had on repeat for the last 48 hours straight. I really like this next.
You really like these post intro songs.
I do! I really do. I re listened to this one a whole bunch too right after because, well, first off, it's like a montage, so I thought I benefited from rewatching it a few times because there's
Hmm.
quite a lot fit in there. But we get an idea of what's happening fairly quickly. I liked. I appreciated it because then it's like kind of a smart way of doing a lot of expedition about what's going on without having to tell us what's going on
Yeah.
in like a monologue sense or something. And it's the art style is fun. Like it was a fun little art style moment, and the
Hmm.
song was fire. Okay, fight me on that. The single
I've
person.
I've I, I've not disliked a single song from this show so far. I
So
love Jinx's song specifically later on in the show how it comes back, or later on in this episode how it comes back.
oh yeah, we'll talk about it because that was a cute
Yeah.
moment. But so this moment right here, I think I'm not sure if you'll remember it potentially, but it looks this right here looks so similar. His facial expressions to when Silco was nervous in season one, and
Hmm.
Sevika was talking with him then, and like you know
Hmm.
that scene where he's trying to talk to Sevika about uh, loyalty.
Yeah.
I like his facial expressions and his body language and the way Savika's standing and his hand
Behind him.
placement. I thought it was the same, but maybe that just happens a lot because they
Yeah.
probably sit there a lot.
Honestly, I feel like this is a pretty. I don't know. This feels like a very natural position for him, covering his eyes slightly too.
Yeah, I just guess it looked. Oh, I
Yeah,
wish
I,
it.
I I definitely see how it's reminiscent, especially the way he looks down at first, but the
No,
way he
no,
looks up is
I'm
very
not
confident.
suggesting that it's reminiscent. I'm suggesting that it is
Hmm.
identical.
Mm.
I didn't go grab it though, but I would love to afterwards in the Discord see if it's like go grab a snip because Savika's back is stood here. It's
Hmm.
I think it might be the same. But anyway, so we get in this filmy grain that runs over top, and then we get like a larger shot of the table, which is kind of it gave me really strong Alice in the Wonderland energy, but
Mm.
in a more chaotic, potentially uh, more violent way.
Yeah, the way people are being removed.
Yes, people are being removed, so it started to convey the idea of uh, these were the kind of running leaders of the underground, and then some of them were being taken out, and then Silco was taken out, and then people wanted his throne, basically. And it was kind of a montage of what's happening in regards to the underground's attempt for who's gonna fill that seat,
Hmm.
pretty much.
Yeah, between the final three, I guess.
Yes, here we go.
Yeah, there you are.
What a
Actually, that was a perfect cut, by the way.
wasn't it beautiful? But really interesting factions. One of them
Yeah.
is like a BDSM girl like club, and one
The
of
other's
them
like all prim and proper.
I don't know if I'd say prim and
They
proper.
they try to be all very uniform, all in like the little fedora top hat thingies, suits.
Yeah, yeah, prim and proper. I don't know what those
They're the
cups
people
were on their
I would
mouth.
call suits. Like I would call that faction suits
Okay,
if they eventually did take over.
that's fair. I could see it as prim and proper, especially for Undercity standards.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if we're going that far. Yeah, here I actually found this very interesting.
When they stood
And
side by side.
no, Jinx in this.
Oh, okay.
That the fact that Jinx is cloaked here. First of all, we never see. I understand why she is, but we never have seen Jinx cloaked before and hiding from people. She is very, very stealthy. She knows how to stay out of sight. She knows how to like just not roam the streets. But here she is cloaked, roaming the streets, hiding in plain sight, which I've never seen Jinx do. It's such a personality shift for her.
I just think she doesn't care anymore. I mean, we can get that to
Yeah.
later on, but she says some things that really feel like she doesn't care if she lives or dies. But also, I want to
Yeah.
go back for a second before we go to Jinx. The characters' names, these guys,
Mm-hmm.
have Frost, Rennie, and Smeech, or before stream I said Schmeet. So,
Is is that Rennie? I thought Rennie was the chainsaw girl.
oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. We have which one is?
That's a great one. I don't know. I wasn't.
I got it. I got it. Mixed up things. Yeah, Rennie is the one with the green tubes in her mouth.
Yes.
Oh, and thank you, Taylor, for checking. So apparently it's not the exact same, it's just really similar. So it's Marga?
Okay. Margaret. Margaret.
Margit? Margit.
Margot.
Margot.
Margaret.
Margit. But yeah, I was really, really interested in the designs of them. I liked them. Like, I couldn't stop looking at them. And I kept... Okay, tell me if you did this too. I kept debating which team I'd want to be on if I had to be on one.
I wouldn't want to be on any of them. I would want to be with Sevika.
But like if you had to.
Out of these three,
Yeah.
I feel like I would want to be on Margaret's team.
Okay. Why?
I feel like I don't know. She just gives me the vibe of even if they are running for like a faction, it gives me the same vibe as the Mox from Cyberpunk, where they're the kind of the one faction that seems to actually care about its people.
Okay, we don't have enough to judge that yet.
We don't. We have nowhere near enough. But they give me that vibe. Where it out of the three of them, I feel like the other two would just throw me to the trash once they were done with me. I don't know. She gives
I
me
think
the
you're
vibe
being a little bit sexist because a woman will
Potentially.
absolutely throw you to the trash.
I mean, we've had experience with that, but
I think the other ones just look scarier.
yeah, they do. They do look much scarier.
I would also be on Smeech's team, Eric. I don't know why, but
Smeech? Out of all people, I feel like Smeech is he gives us the most evidence that you would not want to be on his team.
yo, he is so cool. His design is so cool.
Oh, you're not gonna like how I shit on him later.
Okay, all right. We'll see. We'll talk about it. I didn't know you didn't like Smeech. You don't like him?
I like Smeech, but I don't think he's badass or anything like that. That's for sure.
I don't think he's the definition of badass, but
He doesn't even give me a. He doesn't give me the vibe that he has a claim to power at all. He feels like the weakest out of these three.
oh, I'm not saying he's the strongest. I'm just saying I
Yeah,
think he's the coolest.
not physically strong. Like I think, yeah, no, not even that. Like he just feels very fake. Feels like he's putting on a show.
Again,
I'll get to
I'm
it
not
later.
saying he's not putting on a show. I'm not
No,
saying
no.
anything.
Yeah, but I'm not falling for the he's cool trick.
But he's cool.
Right?
Cool
He's
factor counts for
He's
something.
not.
Okay, well, I wholeheartedly disagree. He's cool. I just like his design when he crawled along. Anyway, we're getting excited. We'll just keep going. So yes, we have the factions here. We have the mommy side and the dad side, and then we have Jinx walking through the middle and fire imagery. So like again, the whole idea of everything in the Undercity is completely awry since Silco's dead, and these are factions fighting for that control. And I thought it was interesting that Jinx was just walking around, but I kind of also had. I'm glad I skipped to this. I also wanted to know why there was numbers on all of their foreheads. Like,
Yeah,
I wonder if that's a faction thing. Of, hey, you're gonna be number 2 and you have no name because we don't do
yeah.
names.
I would say, yeah, like one of those nameless factions
Like
where
the
everybody just kind of given an ID number.
like the Fight Club. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it
Yeah, and
was.
all of them have that. I wonder if it's a tattoo or not.
Or just a sticker they put on every day.
Yeah, they just draw it on with Sharpie in the morning.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, oh yeah, okay, so we're getting the background faction interplay stuff while also following around this kid who's being chased by one of those factions.
Mm-hmm.
And this kid bumps into Jinx at the perfect time.
Mm-hmm.
It tries to make a jump and ends up falling onto Jinx. What were your thoughts about that?
So believe it or well, okay, so believe it or not, you remember how I said there were some scenes that actually made me tear up a little bit that probably shouldn't have?
Okay.
This is absolutely one of them.
Really?
I love the fact that Jinx is getting somebody to protect. Even if she really doesn't seem to want to over the next 2 episodes, she's getting somebody who is choosing to be with her and like looks up to her instead of her looking up to somebody else and looking up to somebody else for guidance. Somebody's looking up to her. And I don't know, that really struck me. It was
Aw.
a very this is a very cute scene to me. As much as she's just murdering people, this is a very cute scene to me of how she just immediately jumps into action to protect this kid.
I don't know if she. That's really interesting. I didn't really get a sense that she was protecting the kid as much as just killing the guys. But,
Nah,
hmm.
that's fair. I
Let's.
mean, she was exposed.
First off, let me say, we validate your emotions and say that was so cute that you cried at this moment. Adorable. I initially thought. Okay, I initially had a negative gut reaction, but
Mm.
I gave my trust over to Fortiche and was just kind of like, there's a lot of ways this can go. I'm gonna just relax for a second.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, initially, I don't know. There's something about the way it felt a bit fate. Like, oh, I fell right on top of Jinx, and Jinx happened to
Yeah,
be in
too
this.
good to be true.
I guess yeah, the timing of it was a little bit much for my brain. Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. I will say though, they're doing that a lot this season.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's even a scene later on in this episode where that's also repeated, and then we talked about it in episode 1 when Vi makes it back to Jayce just in the nick of time. I feel like they're doing that in the nick of time or in very pivotal moments. Something is like very conveniently happening.
Yeah, yeah, and then the whole well, we might get an answer for it. The whole Mel and Jace being completely okay by making it back to
Mm-hmm.
the fight in time. The strong man, I don't remember the name of the bruiser on the team now.
Shield Man.
Shield man, Shield man.
Shield
Yes,
Man.
I just don't know. I like wish their meeting was. I guess it would make sense though for the Undercity for them to meet in a way that was not fairly happy meeting. And how else would you do it? But yeah, I was
Yeah.
slightly worried because.
I also
Go ahead.
I mean, I can't see another way that they would meet and stick together at all. And see, this is the reason I think that it was her protecting the kid. Is because she looks up, she sees these 3 guys chasing this little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and she's not exposed at this point. They don't know that this is Jinx yet.
Oh, by the way, how do people not know it's Jinx? Because
Yeah, the blue locks sticking out of the bottom.
the massive braids
Yeah.
swaying side to side at the bottom. Come on. Also, this is a really funny face. I tried to pause it here. There's like a doodle of like a little cartoon up top. I like the graffiti. You should keep an eye out, by the way, SD, if you rewatch season 1 and as we watch this with the graffiti on the walls. They pay so much attention to it and have little details, which just can be so cute. But yes, okay. So question also for this right here.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck is happening with their mouths? Because that is the weirdest thing I have ever seen, and I
Yeah.
cannot imagine that's comfortable.
No, because you can even see the way that their faces are pulled.
They look puckered, like a butt.
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah,
awful.
yeah.
It's not good.
I'm
Um,
so curious the purpose of them.
I was thinking maybe they permanently super glued on breathing apparatus to
Well,
help.
I don't know if it'd be super glued, but
Well, you
I
know
feel
what
like
I
it's
mean, like
yeah, I feel
sewed
like it's
on.
a little more invasive than that,
Walkie talkies, maybe. That's hilarious.
but
I would be really funny. I just don't like it. Stressed
yeah.
me out. It gave me, you know what it gave me? Human centipede energy because of the way their
Mm,
mouths are like constantly puckered. It's
yeah.
gotta be so uncomfy. Or maybe that's okay. I guess my question was: is this a thing that they put on themselves, or they were born with this, or like what is their mouths under there? I was had
Oh,
so many questions design wise.
I feel like this is an initiation kind of thing. The same thing with the
Mm.
numbers.
Like, hey, you're gonna. This is number one though, so whoever this kid is important because number
Yeah,
one is here and number two is here.
yeah. Well, didn't we see another dude with number two on his head in the face off?
Was that
Wasn't
not the
there?
same guy?
I don't think so. He looked bigger, like fatter.
Well, we could probably tell if he has both eyes or not because this guy has an eye patch on.
Hmm.
Interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. What do you guys think it is? It's. It just seems. I don't know, kind of functionally confusing. I was like, what's the purpose?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. See, this guy is number two as well.
you're right.
So maybe the numbers don't mean their personal number. Maybe they mean something else,
It's
ranking or
mm,
something else.
number twos. Okay,
Very odd.
very odd. Anyway, yeah, I like their design a lot. I would not want to be on their team though because I think they scare me the most. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But so to get back to it, the kid falls on top of Jinx, and Jinx seems kind of aggravated, I'd say, by this.
He always seems aggravated by the kid.
And then I wanted to point this out. I took note of this specifically. I really liked, or I saw the parallel to, the moment Vi crawled into Silco's lap when they first met.
You mean Jinx crawled into Silco's
Yeah,
lap?
yeah, I'm so sorry. When Jinx crawled into, well, Powder crawled into Silco's
Powder
lap.
crawled into Silco's lap. Yeah.
And I don't know, it's just like the open legs,
I
kind of knees bent, kind of
yeah,
confused, taken by
and
surprise.
I think it's also why it hit me so hard. It's
Mm.
because like it feels very reminiscent of that scene. Like I quite literally wrote down how Undoing is a daughter, even though I see them more as a sister relationship. But this does seem like her undoing, the undoing of Jinx specifically. Maybe I'm calling it too early, but this is where the path that it seems to be going down for me.
I mean, that's a way that could be taken. I mean, right now it has functional. This kid has had one super important function
Hmm.
in episode
Hmm.
3 from stop a moment at the very end of episode 3 that we'll get to
Yeah.
later this week. But I don't know. It was a cute little moment of similarity between when she met Silco.
Hmm.
But yeah, she doesn't really waste any time to execute the 3 big guys,
Yeah.
and
No, not at all.
then kind of weirdly turns to our kid. It's like, hey, you ever just wanna? Now, did you think she was talking about taking her own life, or just
Mm-mm.
she said you
I was
feel
thinking.
it?
I was thinking adrenaline.
Mm. Buzzing behind your eyes was definitely a reference to Shimmer, though.
Yeah,
Maybe, I think so.
I could see that.
Yeah, it was just I don't know. This is what made me think it wasn't necessarily a protective thing because it, or at least not because like, hey, it's a kid, I gotta protect a kid, or there's like any kind of deeper instincts going on. For me, it felt as though she was. I feel like she likes killing people at this point. So
Yeah, but I don't. But why wouldn't she? I mean, like not why wouldn't she kill the kid? But like, she
well,
saved the kid.
yeah, But also, she
She
doesn't
had
save the kid any further than that. Just leaves the kid.
but she says, "Hey, you ever need a sibling? Ever need a family? That's my card."
I don't think that's how she meant that. What?
And the kid followed her right afterwards.
Yeah, but I don't think that's how
And
she
she and
meant
she
that.
sure as she sure as hell doesn't tell her to screw off.
Okay, well, this is the moment here. Before we get to that, I was saying, do you think I thought she was referencing ending her own life here. To me.
Uh, mm, I mean, we know that she has those tendencies for sure. We've known that since season one. But I think she was saying like, uh, to me it was more she was talking about the adrenaline, like the rush of being in a fight, because at any moment you could die, and
Because, you know,
she likes the fear of death.
I think she wants to die. I
Oh,
think she wants to die.
I think she does too. I think she sees death as a release,
Absolutely.
but she's not going to do it to herself.
I guess
I
I
think
thought here it was the introduction of the idea that Jinx might be a bit suicidal. That's
I think we saw that introduction all the way back at the Echo fight.
I think I didn't get like a very strong, super strong want to end my life there. I think that was more like I'm completely unhinged now and changed. Like here she almost feels like she's in a depression now of I don't really
Yo,
care what
yeah.
happens to me. Like I think Jinx is now like I'm just gonna be taken down the stream up right now at this moment. I'm just gonna be taken wherever I need to go. And then
If that
if I
kills
die,
me.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like she's down a much darker path now than she was back then. But I don't feel like I don't feel like this is sudden, is what I'm saying.
Also the smoke. They leaned into the
Yeah.
cartoony little uh poof, and then the comic book feel that's been going for.
Yeah.
It points the
I
gun
really
at the
enjoy
kid
that.
like that's crazy.
But that's also just Jinx.
More. It's just Jinx. Very interesting moment here. So you're saying with her dialogue at the very end of the scene was if you ever need to curse a sibling or family or society, just like that's me, just give me a call.
Yeah, I feel like that was
What?
I don't know. I very much got the vibe that this girl was going to be important and that this is going to be Jinx's new vibe, basically. Or she's going to be the powder to Jinx.
I can see something similar to that, but I don't think she was at all inviting this kid to follow her.
Not inviting her, but I think I wouldn't even say she knew, but like she's not against it.
No, she's definitely. I don't think no.
Me, you ever need to curse a sibling or a family or a society? My card.
Like that was so sarcastic. Like she saw the kid looking over at the posters. Was like, "Oh yeah, don't worry about it," and then like was being like just basically shitting on herself. Like, "Hey, that's
Yeah.
me." I don't know. But each to their own. Chat, tell me
I
what
don't
you
know.
think.
From the very start, I saw this kid going the way that she's been going so far.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. Maybe you're not hearing me. I'm saying I don't think in this moment Jinx had not even a 1% interest in helping this kid at all. Like it almost like was just bad guys, pew pew pew, and then she was like, "It's exhilarating. I could totally feel happy with dying. Also, oh yeah, you see
Yeah.
that? That's me." Like not even
Yeah,
present.
maybe it wasn't her intention, but she definitely did it.
That's true. Definitely did do it. Okay, continue on. But yeah, we get a so far in this episode, I was getting the vibe of more comic book from the monologue that we got like straightforward, and then the uh, music video scene, and then that little pow or poo, poo, poo. Yeah, that's what it is. Poo. Her gun says poo. I was just like, okay, we're leaning into a comic book effect.
Yeah.
And then you're right, the kid's eyes are kind of lit with
Mm-hmm.
please. Please, mom.
Yeah, and immediately follows her.
Okay, and now
Jinx don't do
we get to Smeech.
nothing.
Yes! It's Smeech time. Okay. So Smeech's introduction is one that's
Do you want me to read what, like, you're
oh
gonna hate what
no.
I wrote down for this.
Really? You don't like
Yeah.
Smeech that much? Okay.
So, like, when I watched this scene, I said Smeech reminds me of a mob boss from the 30s. I find it quite
Yes?
interesting how often he breaks this character though, with his stuttering and constant lack of awareness. He tries to play this role really hard, but kind of sucks at it.
Hmm.
And I guess you'll see it in a little further in the scene. But when he gets out of the car and he's like, "Oh, it's just fog smoke. Don't worry about it." He's so confident and so cocky. But as soon as he realizes that there's a body there, he goes, "Oh," he kind of backs up. He goes, "Oh, you go first. You go first."
Yeah. Yeah.
He feels like a mob boss that can't handle his business.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like he can't handle his business. That's why he wasn't in charge to begin with. But
Yeah, exactly. And he's like trying so hard to play into this character, but he just sucks at it.
that's why I love him.
I guess if that's why you love him. That's why you love him. That's why I don't love him.
His body design, I mean, the fact that his body's not even really his in some kind of way,
Yeah.
right? Like, he's not even a real thing himself. Maybe
Yeah.
literally and metaphorically, he's not able to step into what he wants to be.
Yeah, the way that he puffs on the shimmer too.
Yeah, he like
Like
snorts so.
I feel like he's trying so hard to play this role. And the only one who believes it is that man right there.
Okay, but he's cool, and that's all. Them cool factor 5,000.
Yeah, if you want to give him the cool factor.
I love his design. I've never. This is what I feel like I would design if I were to dream up some kind of. Actually, you know what? There was a line he said about a rat without wings. Is that
Mhm,
this in
mhm.
a little bit?
Yeah. That's the next scene after
Okay,
this.
let's talk about that when we get there. I'll save my thought for that. But his introduction made me chuckle. I was kind of confused how his body came to be. It was reminding me of Guardians of the Galaxy raccoon.
Hmm.
I'm blanking on the name, but Rocket.
Rocket.
Yeah, thank you. It kind of reminded me of raccoon, but make it a bit more psychopathic and unhinged. And then you got Smeech.
Speech.
Smeech. He's just such a cutie. Like, come on.
Cuties Ugh.
But yeah, so in
Like,
this
me and you have
scene,
very differing opinions on this character.
that's fine. In this scene, we establish that he's out for the throne, and that he doesn't really care what it takes, and he's on his way to kind of literally take the place of being in charge. And then we see him step out too, and his leg. Okay, first off, I needed to stop. I'm so glad I stopped here. The dullest effing knife on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, sharpen your blade, buddy. What is this, a rock that you picked
Yeah, I
up?
was like, do we not have access to stones in the Undercity?
I don't know, it just made me chuckle. So, this guy looks like a pilgrim kind of aesthetic, maybe Amish aesthetic. Like, alright.
Yeah, he does have the Amish chops.
Oh my gosh, Eric said Smeech looks like one of their dogs.
I'm sorry for your loss, I think.
No. But like, look at the funny hat. Okay, so this is another reason why my brain was going comic book, because this character is, it's just like, where else could it exist?
He's such a gag.
How does that hat stay on? How? How is that hat functionally staying on?
Yeah, maybe he's got some under there.
No, but
It's
especially
holding
with the
his foot.
heavy goggles on there, like,
Yeah.
there's no
Halfway
way.
down too. Halfway down, not even at the base of him.
And he's got this little like toupee kind of little boy haircut on top, but then he's a rat thing yordle guy with super cool mechanical arms and then a suit. Like, I don't know, cool stuff. He gets ready. There's the smog, the bad gases coming out of the building. And this is right. You criticize his character correctly, by the way, when
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little
A little
he's a
baby.
little baby.
And I think, is this Oriana? Maybe my chat will know, but
I was gonna say I wouldn't.
I saw this face and I couldn't initially decide. And I don't think it is. I think this is the one of the other mob bosses because I saw the two little things in her chin, but it looks similar to Oriana, but the Morgott lady. I think it might be her because it has the. They look similar, so maybe. I don't know. I was hopeful.
I mean, it could be one of her people are here, correct?
Yeah, they're coming in for the throne. They're trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, but like, look at his little leggies. Look at
They're
his
so
little
skinny.
leggies.
They are so skinny.
I love how he walks around. I also kind of, honestly, I do listen to a lot of EFAP. I imagine if Rags were to grow a pair of legs to walk around like a human, I kind of imagine this is how Rags would be a little bit. And like not as mean and menacing looking, but like if he had to get some bionicle parts to help him functionally walk and stuff around.
I also feel like he's very much that mob boss that would overcompensate for himself. With the legs being one of the prime things that make me think that because he was obviously very short when he had his own.
Yeah, he's so insecure of his height. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me? Every time he gets a
Yeah.
chance, he's like, I need to show you I'm taller.
Yeah. Like he needs to feel like he's towering over people.
Okay, yes. So further on in the scene, we see that it is not just some casual.
Yeah, and immediately, yeah, it gets scared and immediately sends somebody else in.
Mm-hmm. This is where the question of what this is. We could talk about this for a little bit if you'd like. I kind of saw it as a. Okay, so I've been reading League of Legends lore, so again, my brain has been desperately being like,
I just say,
who's
yeah,
this
I
could
don't,
be?
I don't have the backstory for this.
No, so I
but
want to hear your input first. Who do you think this mysterious creature thing at the end?
I mean, my input is still riot related, I guess.
Okay, go for it. Who do you think this?
I screamed out Omen from Valorant. There's no absolutely zero chance that it could be him. He's not in this world at all. But immediately, like, the three blue eyes immediately looked like Omen to me.
Maybe they're gonna cross. No.
But yeah, no, I have no idea what this thing could be, and we don't really get an explanation for it.
Oh, his eyes too are so red that it's gotta be burning. I didn't take that as three eyes. I think I took that as a mouth.
Really?
Yeah, I think I took that as like a ghost mouth. But I can see it as three eyes too.
Yeah, I saw it as three eyes.
Because we find out in the first episode when Caitlyn is going through those slides, we see kind of the personification of smog, the gray. I think it's what it's referred to. But I wasn't sure if this was the gray has become so thick that it's now a literal living thing.
Oh, was it? Was this Caitlyn's team?
No.
Why is there three dogs?
I'm saying
everybody. No, I know everybody in chat is saying it was Caitlyn's team.
This right here, we haven't even established.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe he's just tripping out, but like, how did they escape? First of all,
Well, I just would wonder why Caitlyn's team would look so tentacly.
Yeah, like why they would look so scary, and why they wouldn't take Smeech's team out here.
I mean, maybe it's one of their weapons. It's okay. Hold up. Maybe they're trying to go for like a less literal, like maybe Caitlyn's team is becoming like a personified boogeyman of the Undercity. Because they are going around with that goal, but that isn't established clearly for us yet as the audience. So
yeah,
I don't know. Interesting. I didn't take it that way.
Yeah, I didn't take it that way either, but interesting that the entire chat, or a lot of the chat seems to be agreeing with that.
I've also purposely withheld conversations with anybody just so I could put my initial thoughts out. Because I always do think it's valuable to speak on whatever viewing you have, because it speaks to like what level of success the artist was able to get across their intended message.
Yeah.
So, whose goggles I just don't see, like, even after
Yeah,
telling
I
me
could-
who this is, I don't see it.
Yeah, I couldn't see this being Goggles either because there's 3 of them specifically. I mean, unless he's just that tripped out because of the gas, but I don't think he is, and it's a very low growl as well. Like, I can't see any of them being like.
Is there
this
a growl?
scary. Yeah, yeah. If you go back, it's like almost like an ethereal growl. You
Ooh,
hear it?
there is that, like, wolf
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah, it almost seems like a beast less than a person.
Oh yeah, there's another. Okay, Chad,
Yeah.
You're gonna have to vouch for why this ain't no scary
I'm
monster.
gonna need evidence here.
Eric said gas mask noise. No, I'm aware of the scene. I don't know how to say your name, Ross, but that when they show up in the arcade, how it kind of crawls in, and I do see like the little bit of personification of the figure of the gray. It gets a quick little brief
Yeah.
moment, but it doesn't have.
This figure is so different, and it's almost beast like the way that it's crouched down on the ground.
So
and then,
maybe
he
it's-
walks up to it.
Yeah, maybe it is just a more personified version of they're the new Boogeyman.
Yeah, but like I don't know. It's just I can't see this being Vi and Caitlyn's squad.
Well, I hear the POV. It's like they're trying to throw us off, making us think it's a monster because we don't know what's going on yet.
We don't. Yeah, we haven't seen them.
But
use
that's
that
is
tactic
that fair? Like, no, for real. As a writing choice, do you put growling in? Like, is that fair?
And we also know that Caitlyn is not the only person with access to the gray. I mean, obviously, Silco had some of it in season 1, and he uses it to against the council, or not the council, but like the Undercity Council.
Mm-hmm.
So like we know that more people than just Caitlyn Squad has it. So like I'm curious to
Because-
see if this is a different entity altogether.
Well,
And Smeech in the next scene seems very traumatized.
I don't know if they're necessarily using it the way Silco is. It seems like we'll have to get to episode 3. So I'm just gonna say I don't necessarily agree with that interpretation, but we'll get to that later in the week.
No. I'm just saying. The only reason I brought up Silco using it was because we know that people have access to it. Like this
Yeah,
doesn't have.
what
this
I'm
doesn't have to
saying
be
is-
Caitlyn.
SD, what I'm saying is I don't think this is them having access to it. I think what I was seeing in that episode was them moving it along, like clearing out the vents and stuff. We'll get to it. I just want to. So just let's keep it episode 2. Episode 2. But yeah, I don't know. The growling really threw me off. So the growling is their masks. What? What? Maybe.
Nah.
Okay,
I've heard the masks as well, but like I don't know. I understand that like it could be very. I don't know. I don't see. I see how it could be interpreted that way, but I'm not sure if I see the evidence for it. I am very curious to discuss that though, because I mean it is a very solid theory.
Well, who would they be? I guess they would be slaughtering the people in here.
Yeah, and like, but also, why wouldn't they? Like, why wouldn't they take out this guy?
I know. I agree that the imagery in the later scene is 100%. They have like the wispy stuff, and it has the face really briefly. Like I get that. I even remember looking up to see if it was Zach, the goopy guy from the Undercity. But the growl. What the freak is the growl? That's it. That's all I want the answer for. The growl. That's all I want. What is the growl?
It's so ethereal. Like it's so no, ethereal's the right word. I was gonna try to make up another word, but like very ethereal.
It's not ethereal. Ethereal's not the right word, but it's ethereal.
No, it's ethereal. Like very, very, very. Like,
I know.
Almost like like
I know
Stranger
what it
Things
is.
Demogorgon.
No, I know
like,
what it is.
growl.
Someone
What?
ate a lot of Taco Bell before going down there. That's all
Oh,
it was.
true.
Yeah.
It's just their stomach. They're just hunched over in there.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why I was so confused. We'll just keep moving on. Okay, so that was that scene. Things are cut, and then we get a meeting. By the way, very pretty. I really liked this here because of the glass work. For all of the crap, I guess that's shed on for Zaun, it still is very aesthetically beautiful to me.
Yeah, it is a very pretty place. Actually, like as swummy as it tries to be, it's very pretty.
Because you have to have a lot of artists down there to make something I guess, this glass work. And
Yeah. It also makes me curious of the Undercity's past and how it couldn't have always been this way.
we get a shot of the greenhouse on top,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice. So yeah, sorry chat about the
Oh yeah, there's another
confuffle.
number two.
Another number two? Number two? Another number two? Okay, so yes, this chat basically is kind of what I've been excited for. It's Sevika stepping up into a role on her own, or starting to. I'd say it's like a first baby step of realizing she's gotta make moves and do things even if she has no leader right now. So this scene is like, hey, knock it off. We're not going to get anywhere. We need to work together to make sure we don't lose everything that we've been fighting for, and that Piltover is the real enemy. They kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I would like to point out, look how traumatized that Smeech looks in this scene.
You think he looks traumatized?
Yeah, but that with that right here.
Yeah,
Look
he's dead
looking down
staring
at the
forward.
table, he is not in this conversation at all right now. Until what's her name, Margaret? We believe her name. If I'm saying that right. But until she says, "Why isn't he speaking?" That's when he like really like tuned like real please. Sorry, my rabbit is throwing bells. If you heard that. But until she like specifically says to him, like, "Why isn't he speaking?" That's when he perks up and goes, "Oh, I need to speak. I need to make my case." I don't know if he was thinking that entire time or if he's really traumatized because of what happened in the place that they were in, whatever that place was called. But yeah, he does not look here.
He almost looks angry to me, though, because he was vibrating, like sitting there seething. Or maybe he's tapping his foot.
Maybe, yeah.
He might be tapping his foot.
He might be like anxiously tapping his foot, or I don't know. I don't know what this emotion is exactly. If it's trauma, if it's anxiety, if it's anger.
He's definitely not present. He's
Yeah,
definitely
he's
not being
not
present.
in this conversation.
Yeah. But I was happy for Sevika to be, I guess, not needing necessarily a leader to make moves on her own. Because, I don't know, I think she has a lot of potential.
Yeah, she definitely does. And I feel like this is her first big shot at it, which kind of gets shit on a little bit by Smeech. But
Right. Here, we get the close-up of what he's feeling. Chad, what do you
yeah.
guys think he's feeling here? What were your perceptions of it? Oh. Oh. That neck turn.
You like that man?
I do. I really like this man. I don't know if I'd call him a man, but I like it.
You like that thing?
Yes.
She's right.
Yeah, she's right. I don't know. He seemed...
Yeah, he seems like to snap out of it here.
We don't get topside off our backs. We don't.
Do you think he was anxious because of the attack?
I think so. I think because of what he walked in on there and whatever thing they saw in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that really threw him.
Eric says, I think Smeech is currently high on drugs. That could totally be
That
it, too.
would also be fair because he did nothing but puff on that shimmer.
Maybe this is why he agreed. Maybe this is why he agreed to, like, hey, we need to get Piltover off our back, so give them Jinx.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's because of the...
Because what he saw in there, yeah.
Yeah.
And if it was Vi and Kate's team, that could be a reason why.
Okay. I guess what we established pretty much in the scene. But before we leave this scene, this moment right here, I would say one of my top favorite moments so far, because it was an immediate... Okay, I should probably describe what it is auditorially. When Sevika says, we don't hand over our people, and she means it. I was kind of taken aback for a second, because that is what Vander was about when she not betrayed, but when she was frustrated with him. First season, she was like, you know, we gotta fight back. What are you doing? And he's like, hey, we gotta do this. Do you see the parallel I'm drawing?
I see the parallel, but I think there is a very clear line between them where Vander didn't he did not want to take either option. He didn't want to fight because he didn't want to lose people casualty wise, but he also didn't want to hand over the kids because we don't hand over our people, which is where she agrees. Where I think she differs is she was okay with going to war. She was okay with casualties, but as long
Mhm.
as you went down fighting for a cause that you believe in, she's okay with losing people that way,
Mhm.
like losing people in the casualty sense. But I don't think she's okay with handing people over, working with the enemy basically. I think that's their big divider, and I think that's why she turned to Silco.
I just want to hear her say the line in a second.
We give them Jinx. That's all they really want.
We don't hand over our people.
Like, that was a
Yeah,
good character plus on her behalf.
And I feel like she definitely did learn that from Vander. That is a very strong like value of hers.
Okay. I remember thinking, though, it was somewhat surprising, given how much she's been through, that she's still willing.
Jinx.
Yeah, she's still kind of willing with Jinx, is what I was trying to say. I don't know. Was
Yeah.
anybody else surprised about her unwillingness to turn in Jinx, given how she kind of complained a lot about how Jinx is messing things up, Jinx is incapable, you're, criticizing Silco for being kind of weak to her in a way?
Yeah. And I think I do agree with that. Like it was very surprising to me that she was not even slightly like persuaded by that notion at all. Like she was not at all on that side, like on that wavelength. She did not want to even think about handing over Jinx. Very surprising to me.
I guess as Eternal Bacon, awesome name by the way, pointed out in chat, her core value is loyalty.
That is true.
So I don't know. She still seemed to hate Jinx at some points. So yeah, it's just.
Yeah, this is a very strong character movement for Sevika.
Good point. David said, I think that makes her value even better, that she won't break it even for someone she hates. So more points for my girl.
Yeah, she is somebody who is so strong in her principles.
Okay, but she also doesn't have an arm. That's important to mention because he kind of
She
uses.
also doesn't have an arm.
Yeah,
Okay.
she also doesn't have an
on
arm.
her.
Also, wait, let's talk about Smeech needing to get big real quick.
Struck a nerve, did I? Okay.
No, man, like just the acting, it's just the voice.
I'll make you a deal. You help me put a bow
Like,
on.
oh, creepy. I love it. But so yes, he gets up in her face and it's like, hey, here's the deal. It's the last deal I'm gonna make with you, like a threatening tone. I'll get you an arm, cause you're missing one. A cool one.
By the way, another reason I want to shit on Smeech.
Why?
So like he says all these things, right, that I would say are very reminiscent of a mob boss. This is the last deal I'm gonna make you. Like he's very like, but every single time he says something like this, it ends up blowing up in his face so hard. And there's another one later on. This one blows up in his face, but there's another thing that he says later on that just like, immediately I was like, oh, that's what a mob boss would say.
I love
it.
it.
Immediately blows up in his face. I love how hard he tries to fit into this character, but how like dramatically he fails at it.
I mean, he's pretty scary. Like, look at that arm.
Yeah. He definitely has the show.
He has the
But
coolest arm.
I think he's all bark and no bite.
I love it. I don't even care. Give me more of Smeech. I'm okay. But
Well,
wait, we know what happens with Smeech in this episode, right? Okay, so we're still in the confines of episode 2, so I'm gonna go ahead and just let you know this happens episode 2. Smeech doesn't make it outside of episode 2, unfortunately, and I was kind of sad by that because I really like Smeech's character. But yeah, so he gets like cool arm. Come on, think about it, and yeah, that's that scene. Let's cut to the next moment, which to build off of what we were just talking about her core principle being loyalty. We get her back at Silco's chair, and there's an interaction between her and Jinx. She's looking sad. She says a beautiful line, well-written line, about even after you're dead, I'm still cleaning up your mess.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Alright, let me just look at my notes, make sure I don't miss anything, because I really liked this scene. There were moments in it where you could feel her emotional tension of grief mixed with anger, frustration,
Hmm.
more grief, just confusion, and then deciding not to harm Jinx at the end of it. I think one of my favorite moments so far as well.
Yeah. I also mentioned. I don't know if you really cared about this or if it stuck out to you at all. The cloak that she wears to cover her arm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love it.
I find that very interesting. Like that she's almost maybe not embarrassed is the right word, but self-conscious about not having her arm. Like when
No,
she
it's
doesn't have her arm, she does.
I don't
I don't
think
think she
she's
feels as
self.
like.
No, no. I don't think. I mean, maybe she is deep inside self conscious. I think she's smart, and she knows if she walks around the Undercity streets without an arm, she's so
Mhm.
gonna get rocked. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
so I think she needs that cloak on for you don't know if I have a
protection thing.
shimmer arm under here or not, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, but so we get this small. This is the kind of what I was talking about when I was talking through the last stream about needing moments of brevity, something to help with all of the stress. This
Mhm.
moment of Jinx saying, same time every day, Big Baby couldn't do it himself, and fiddling with his shimmer eye injection device,
Mhm.
and Sevika kind of deciding to not slam her and just sit there and chat with her, gave me that
I
moment.
I do really like this conversation though because they talk about how Silco wasn't the do it man. Like he wasn't the
They're
guy
like shitting
who.
on him in this scene, aren't they? They're literally kind of like,
No,
yeah.
I don't think they are. I don't think they are.
No, no, but like verbally, what they're saying
Ah,
is like, it,
half and half. So how I interpret this, right? They're calling him a leader. They're not calling him the guy who can get it done by himself. They're not calling him a one man show.
yep, I
They're
agree.
calling him they're calling him the guy who can delegate, the guy who can lead. Because they even say like once he leaves, everything goes up like everything goes to shit.
Yeah,
Because he was the guy who could delegate. He was the guy who could lead. He was the guy with the plan. He was not the guy who could
no,
do
no.
the plan
Let me
necessarily.
let me finish, SD. Okay.
Okay,
Here's how
yeah.
I feel it. Okay, okay, okay.
All right,
It's
go
like
ahead.
when a loved one dies, passes away. How you kind of would shit on them with a friend in a funny way, like, oh yeah, they
Oh
never could take the dishes out of their room, or they had rats in their alarm clock. Like you would say something about like you would laugh, but like, oh yeah, they always did have the most worn out shoes, didn't they? Like it kind of like poking fun, sitting there. I think in this scene they were taking a moment to grieve together and
yeah.
process together. But it was, I do think they were kind of a little bit shitting on him. I see what you're saying was like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
giving him some credit, but it definitely felt like they were
Oh yeah, for sure. They're
like
they're for sure
Jinx.
shitting on him.
Jinx here is like he kind of was. They're kind of saying he wasn't a competent leader a little bit. I hear both in this dialogue. Let me pull up the dialogue actually. Chad, what do you think? Do you think they're where do you think they're saying? Because
Yeah,
they're
I
rightfully
think they are doing
frustrated.
both.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they are doing both. I think they're shitting on him for not being able to do it himself. But it also gives that vibe of he was the leader, like he was the guy who was delegating to us. Because like who else could do this? I mean, and I think the line that really says like who else could do this is like very much the once he goes away, everything goes up in flames kind of thing. I think that was kind of them saying like, yeah, as shit, like as bad as he was on his own, like as much as we're gonna shit on him, it is like they needed him. Yeah, I think they're just trying to lighten the mood and grieve together for sure.
So, okay. I'm reading chat. Sorry.
No,
They're
but yeah, I
yeah,
think
they're
it's very
lighting the
very
mood.
cool.
Yeah, it's like they're kind of bonding in a weird, fucked up way.
Yeah,
um.
yeah, it's very back and forth.
Yeah. So they are bonding over this, which is I think you had on your bingo card that Savika and Jinx would maybe work together. So
Hmm.
there you go. And then
I
she,
get 2 hits to my bingo card this
you
episode.
do. You're doing good with your bingo card. She and Jinx are okay. So what now? Kind of left it off, and then we cut
Yeah.
to a scene I'm really excited to talk about because
Actually, I want to talk about one
Sure.
more thing here.
go ahead.
At the very end of this scene, when Jinx picks up Sevika's arm,
Oh,
is it just me, or is Sevika, as much as they're bonding here, still still a little afraid of Jinx?
I think her fear of Jinx comes from the fact that Jinx is so unhinged.
Like, yeah, I've never seen Sevika jump back like that, like flinch like that.
Hmm.
It's just, I don't know, it stuck out to me. I literally wrote down, Sevika is scared of Jinx.
I mean, maybe it's just because she was taken off guard too. She was turned away, and
Yeah.
she was also.
Jinx is so volatile.
But also think about it this way: she was mid dialogue of reminiscing over the everything that's lost, and like
Mm-hmm.
she was saying all his plans, everything we built, the hell we supposed to do now? Watch it all
Yeah.
burn. So, yeah, she's kind of sulking, and also supposed to be a cute. And this is another comic book kind of feeling moment. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it's supposed to be Jinx's way of reaching an arm out to her, but
Really interesting. I didn't think of it that way.
but yeah, I don't know. I just found that very interesting that she jumped back. She flinched.
Mm.
I feel like that was very intentional to me.
Jinx is so not there. She just
She's lost.
It's
Jinx
over
is
it.
so lost. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm really nervous, Chad, about this next scene. Wait, not this exact next scene. It's not for a bit. Do I have time before you guys all unsubscribe and leave me? I do. Okay, good. Okay, that scene's not for a little bit, but just okay. So we basically see Jinx leave, and we see that Smeech sees that she leaves and follows her, and then we also see that the little girl, I'm pretty sure,
Mm-hmm.
that fell on top of Jinx is still following her and watching from afar. So, Hmm?
Very curious. Just to throw this in there, we don't have to talk about it right now, but I'd be very curious to find out that if she's mute or not. She has not said a word.
well, again, okay, what you were saying earlier about what you see for this kid,
Mm-hmm.
I totally see it more as this kid is going to serve a purpose for Jinx. I don't think they really want to give this kid a character, if that makes sense. Like, I think they kind of want her flat because she's not as. It's not for.
But she has so much personality.
I
already.
know, but I'm trying to, like, I think it's more. I can almost see this as like a JPEG image. Like, in the story, following
Okay.
her around. Like, I don't think it's. Yeah, I guess she's literally a character, but I see it more as a writing choice to activate a certain change and do certain things. Whereas, I mean, that's why I perceive her as mute. Because if we have her talking, it kind of can.
It makes her into a character
It
that
really-
has to stick around.
It can, yeah. And I don't know if they want us as emotionally attached to this little kid. Like, this little kid seems to be serving a purpose functionally, is what I'm trying to suggest, perhaps.
Yeah. I guess we shall see.
Yes, we shall see.
I'm curious to her development,
And
if she has any,
I like
like what impact she plays.
I like the helmet too. It's very
Yeah, I love her hat.
reminds me of Clagger a little bit with the
Mhm.
goggles.
Seems very personal to her too.
Okay.
Yeah, your favorite scene.
This is not my favorite scene.
Okay, sorry, your favorite character.
Okay. So
Jesus.
I choose not to watch the show first time around with captions on, just because of little things like this. When this moment here,
I don't watch the captions either, just to throw that out there. But specifically because of the things like this, I hate that ruins shows for me. Because I
Really?
don't want to know who's speaking. Yeah, I don't want to know
Oh.
who's speaking.
okay, well, I watch it back through with it on anyway, but well, each their own.
I mean, that's fine. I just don't watch with captions in general. Like right now, I don't have any on.
Okay. So when I was listening the first, I guess asking for you too. Then, did you know who was speaking here?
No, not at all. Not at first.
Did it click for you at any point down the line?
Oh yeah. Down the line, absolutely.
Okay.
Like I understood who it is. I still don't know who it is. If that makes sense. I'm not fully convinced that it's Sky.
Okay. That'll
Something
be
that I wrote. I forget if it's now or later. Oh yeah. No, I actually this is the first thing I wrote down about this scene. I said Sky's voice here. Is it Sky or the core? Like, is it the hex core impersonating Sky using her memories?
mm,
Like I don't really know if she's still alive in there. And if she's the one guiding Victor or if it's Victor's attachment to her, which she didn't really have much until she died. But if it's Victor's attachment to her that's really pushing this into his thoughts, if it's more of a hallucination rather than actually Sky speaking to him,
yeah.
I don't know.
It's a fair question to have at this point in time with the story.
Mhm.
I enjoyed not having captions on because I do think it does change your experience of the show partially with this development because it can sound familiar to some people and be like, oh, who is that? And it kind of causes you to think a little. And I like when shows cause you to think a little. But when
Yeah.
you read the captions, it's an immediate, oh. And it might, I don't know, take away a little bit of an experience that you could have had. I guess it's just.
Yeah. A
But-
lot of writing in shows like that shouldn't like that are not actually intended to be in the show can ruin the show.
Maybe it should have said something along the lines like, mysterious woman voice whispers or something
Yeah,
like that.
woman's voice.
Because it is kind of a reveal, right? In the episode 3 of
Yeah.
it's her, but I guess because of captions she would know. But I really liked this moment, and I think I had a question for you and chat.
Mhm.
This, right? We're whispering, right? We're getting whispers.
Mhm.
Is this meant to be his ear? Because
That's what I thought too.
okay, because I feel like I've seen it on his leg a little bolt or two, but
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was his back or his ear, but I don't like when I was watching this through again today before the stream, I thought that this was his ear, and I did not think that the first time. But I don't know, honestly. But we know that his face really isn't that morphed, so I don't think so.
because did we see his ears when he gets out? Well,
Yes. At least we see this head, and if this is his ear, we can assume that he doesn't have hair from this. But he obviously does
he
once he
obviously
gets out.
does. So why would you
Yeah.
show? Because okay, my brain was like, oh my gosh, his ear is now like a freaking metal bolt thing. That's crazy. But then later on, I'm like, wait, he doesn't look like those are his ears. So, but why would you pan to as you're being whispered to? Oh,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. It was like an interesting choice. But
Some part on his leg or back, yeah.
my brain went to ear. So
Victor.
very interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting. stuff
Distorted,
for
distant
Whisper.
screaming as well is heard. So that's just a note. So I really love this scene. It's the moment I think we were waiting for since he got in the goo, and he comes out of the goo, and I think he's motivated by Sky's voice to wake up and get out of the goo. I wanted to ask how that might feel. How do you think that feels?
Not. Well, okay, so this is actually something I wanted to talk about anyway. He doesn't feel things anymore.
Ooh, okay, we can get there. So,
Yeah, so I mean, to him specifically, probably like nothing.
I guess I meant emotionally, not literally
Yeah,
physically.
yeah. I mean, but like, it's gotta feel first of all gross. First of all, very gross. It's very
Obviously,
organic,
this would
very
be
odd, very
comfy,
slimy.
hot bath.
Oh yeah, hot bath.
Yeah.
But like physically, I feel like it has to be scary to wake up and not be able to like be stuck inside this
Mm.
because look at him, he immediately tries to break out.
Yeah, it's got like that sack like egg yolk
Yeah.
kind of break quality to it. But
Yeah,
let's
it's like
what
an-
I have the dialogue pulled up because I wanted to work through this almost line by line because there's a lot going on here. Victor suddenly becomes on a similar level to Silco when Silco talked. Every time Victor's talking, he is saying two things at least at once. I think he has definitely transcended for sure to something That's almost
Transcendent? Are you calling him Jesus?
no. But yeah, his dialogue is rich and thick. So, chat, if you're okay with it, we're gonna take our time with this scene. Also, because I love Viktor. Okay. So he gets out of the goo eventually, which looks so pleasant. It kind of looks like a. Ooh. I'm not gonna say what else that looks like, but we're fine. We're chilling.
Okay.
And he felt. Oh,
Well, this is a birth of some kind.
it is. It's definitely a birth of some kind. A fall. Oh, it's just. I want to say this without being rude, but it's really true. His body is really thin.
Yeah.
It was definitely kind of alarming to see as experiencing knowing individuals who have a body like this in real life. And also, actually, there's the famous YouTuber, starts with an E, her name, but she struggles with an eating disorder and she has a very thin body. I kind of was interested in seeing that this arcane magical hex core would create a body that's not, I guess, any healthier looking. It seems like it's just the muscle of a person.
Yeah. And I mean, Viktor didn't have much to begin with.
No, I know.
He was very frail.
I know, but I understand. This is kind of how he was
Yeah.
beforehand, which is completely cool and fine. But I guess because he was in like a healing pod in a way, I
You
thought
thought it would buff him up a little bit.
not necessarily. Yeah, like just make him look healthier in a way. But it kind of just changed what he had, except his face, into this purple magical stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what I was curious.
Oh, maybe it was his ear, because it does. The black stuff does go up his the sides of his face.
Oh.
So maybe that was a zoom in of his ear.
Okay. Okay, and then he grabs his cane immediately, and
Immediately, yeah, which I find interesting.
yeah. Okay, so why'd you? I'll let you talk. Why'd you find it interesting?
Well, first of all, because his magic immediately spreads to it.
You took my line. That's what I wanted to say.
Oh, you let me speak first.
No,
I'm
okay.
obviously gonna take all of your lines.
I'm gonna take the other line then. I found it interesting because again, this idea of like he's completely different now physically. The fact that he would still instinctively go to his cane and he isn't like healed up.
Yeah.
The cane he still needs.
Yeah.
So interesting. After being in
Or at
a
least he feels like he needs it.
right goopy tube. Well, also
Goopy tube.
he said he was in a goopy tube thing. I think they're definitely going for strong imagery of what he's going to be. You know, there's the cloth around him eventually and his cane. He's definitely a messiah figure of some kind. So
Yeah, for sure.
but it's just like, okay, he's healed up. His body's completely different. Cane. We go for the cane right away. So I don't know.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that he went for the cane.
Okay, so we'll continue on. Jayce is asleep, somehow alive with the massive chainsaw slash in the back. We get our first close up. Of our new boy. New skin drop.
New skin drop.
We can see actively the cane was changing as he was holding it. That kind of also had me immediately initially worried that anything he touched would get messed up. But
Yeah.
it seems like that might not be true.
It seems like more that this was.
Part of
I feel
him.
like it's. Yeah, I'll say the cane is very connected to him at this point.
Yeah,
So I feel like that's why it spread.
a good point. Boham said seeking familiarity. That makes sense. All of this strangeness. Also, I took a specific note here that they did so much delicate work of making sure whatever was happening down there was not shown on the screen. Like, it's just, I don't know, like the arm movement and then the camera pan up. It was a funny little moment.
I don't know, a lot of focus on that.
I just want to know what happens if you're in a magical goop tube for a little bit.
Yeah, you really want to know.
Okay. So we get our lines, which I want to break down because they're, again, dual purpose. We have I also might want to put the sound on for some of these lines because the tone and inflection of which some of them are said
Yeah,
are
I
what
love
hold
this.
the
I
meaning.
love his first line here. His very first line.
Victor?
So I want to go back one more second, just so we can have Viktor say Jayce. Did I miss it again?
Yeah, you did.
Oh my goodness.
He's rewinding to this scene. I don't know. He's very interested.
I mean, but it's so neat.
It is.
Jayce?
So, I'm gonna take it away if that's okay, because I really liked this scene.
Go ahead.
Viktor seemed genuinely like, Jayce, is that you? Jayce? There's a lot in this one word, one moment. What's happened? Like, you know, there's a lot of questions in just asking Jayce's name. But when Jayce says Viktor, I feel like I hear inflection of how, like, looking at his body, asking if that's Viktor almost. Not literally, but, like, acknowledging how much physical change has occurred to him and almost not recognizing him anymore.
I honestly
Wait.
took it more as... Okay.
Victor?
Like, and he's staring directly at his chest, too. I don't know. I see the... Okay, so like I said, there's 2 readings to each line. I think the first reading to the line is, oh my gosh, Viktor, you're alive. You're okay. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing on the surface. I also think there's the second one. I'm sorry, I started off with the second one. But I think Jayce is saying both at the same time with the way the voice actor inflicts on Viktor's name. Because he's the eye movements too, and he's rapidly reading his body. Like, he's looking around, seeing how much it's changed. So I thought that was a very strong one-line delivery.
Jayce? Victor?
Like, his eyes search his body for, like,
he's trying to assess the situation.
like 3 seconds there of, like, what the heck? Let's keep going on. Maybe I'm over analyzing it, but whatever. I'm enjoying the art, okay?
The art.
The art, yes.
Not
Obviously,
Victor.
I'm an intellectual with finer things to say. No, I'm just having a good time, okay? So you could say I'm wrong, but that's what I heard in the dialogue. Because it's just the reading of his eyes was like a desperate Viktor, like, I'm confused that this is you kind of thing. It's almost like if someone you know looks at someone you know well, says something to you or does something that's so out of character that you turn to them and say their name, not because you don't know who they are, but because whatever they've just done changes your perception of them so... Yeah, exactly. I heard that in there. I heard Viktor? Like, huh? Like, what? That's not you. Okay. We'll continue on, because that was just 2 lines. I'm talking too much. So...
I know, I haven't even gotten to the line that I want to get to.
Immediate next line. Definitely purposeful. Okay, surface level, I'll start with that. His next line is, my god.
My god.
Okay, yes, obviously we see something crazy. Very common to, you know, say, Jesus Christ, my god. And it makes sense, but also with what Viktor starts to become very quickly, I don't think that was an accident. Like, poetically, what he's kind of become this symbol of the Messiah. I mean, does he become Jayce's god?
The entire community seems to think that Viktor is Jesus now, so...
I mean, I'm just saying, it was a... to me, it seemed double-layered.
Yeah.
And then we're getting to... Oh, I'm gonna play the sound again. There is a slight mechanical hum in Viktor's voice. So, here we go.
What am I?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that initially too.
So, to me, I've liked the pause after what, because you could see he had so many questions. Like, just, like, which one am I starting with? And then looking down.
This
And-
line is the line that I really wanted to talk about too.
Okay, sure.
Because he does not ask what happened. He does not ask
Mhm.
what he does not ask what happened to me. He does not ask any of that. He immediately says, "What am I?" Because he does not recognize himself anymore.
Mhm.
He knows like that something has physically. I mean,
Fundamentally.
yeah, we'll get to it later too. Like a few lines later than this. How he says that he's cold and he can't feel anything. Like he doesn't feel cold. Like he feels a recursive impulse or something recursive something
Yeah, we'll get to that.
impulse. But yeah, like he does not feel anything anymore. He does not feel emotion by the look of it. I mean, as people were speculating about, I speculated about a lot. He doesn't feel emotion. He doesn't feel pain. He doesn't feel the warmth, the cold. He doesn't feel anything. So his initial reaction is not what happened. It's what have I become?
Mhm.
It's just such a powerful line to me. Like he does not feel human anymore. Like he doesn't feel human needs, pains, cold, heat. What else? Like what else could he possibly not feel? He seems very devoid or like very separated from being a human now.
I think why I really like this scene, similar to what you're saying, is there are very few actual words and lines that are exchanged between the two of them throughout this scene.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not like they're sitting down and trying to work through everything that's happened.
Yeah.
It's heavy and it's dense, which I like. I like my smoothie thick, okay? I don't want it runny. Okay, but let's continue. So, what am I? Looking up at Jayce for that answer, still relying on his cane, holding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get a confused, or not confused, let's hear it. It's a ... kind of your.
You're...
Taking a second, because how would you answer that? Because he doesn't know. And he's looking at a Viktor that's really different.
Yeah. And I think the answer that he gives is maybe not the greatest, but honestly the greatest that I would be able to come up with in that time.
You're alive.
Yep, you're alive. And I liked that line too because it spoke to two things at once, again.
Yeah.
It was... He doesn't actually know how to answer that.
He does not know what he is.
Yeah. And the literal, you're alive, obviously, but...
Yeah, he's just like, my goal was just to keep you alive. Like,
Mhm.
that's it.
I haven't really thought about what might happen, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, we get that really nice fun line. Oh, hello, Julian. Glad you can join. So...
I really want to shout King Julian in a Mort voice, but I'm gonna restrain myself.
You should do it. No, it's okay.
You're
Aw,
alive.
so cute. And I took special note over here that Viktor's face, question mark, because during this hug, Viktor seems distant or almost apathetic or confused.
The way you paused on this.
What's up? Hello? Oh,
Sorry, you were cutting out for me. No, you weren't cutting out on stream, but you were cutting out for me.
oh no!
Okay. Okay, you're...
Alright, chat, tell me if I'm okay. I'll keep trucking along. Maybe Este's dying. But yeah, so for me, his...
Oh, no?
Oh, are you back? No. So for me, Viktor's face
Hello?
was... Oh? Hello. What is happening to Este? Viktor's taking him. He's taking him.
Oh?
There you go. Welcome back.
Okay.
I just
Oh, well.
changed servers. We're good.
Alright.
So, I think you got sucked by Viktor's arcane magic. He wasn't happy with you.
Yeah, mhm.
But yes. Okay, so thank you, Chad, for letting me know you could hear me. So, Viktor's face, he's kind of confused, maybe not caring about the way... Not even hugging him back.
Yeah, he just looks so...
He looks
Not
tired.
there.
He looks
Yeah.
tired still.
It looks like he just does not want to be there.
Then we get... Then we go. It, like, took so long. Okay, so...
Yeah, like he wasn't sure if he should.
And even after he did, he's looking at him in a way that's not, a hug you'd expect after such an event.
Yeah, it's more or less just returning the favor of a hug.
And then Jay suddenly realized he was hugging his naked friend. Cute.
You must be cold.
So cute. And you could also tell how sleep deprived Jayce is. They did a good job of making him have that aftershave, give him the dark under his eye. And then here we go with the very... I see, the thing is, with you were speaking on behalf of the animation, the facial expressions that you were enjoying, right?
Yeah, I love the way they animate faces. They show so much emotion.
So before this next set of dialogue, I feel like from this hug, you could tell that this was going to be the next source of dialogue. As in, he already seems to have, from the little bit of machine hum in his voice and the 5-mile stare that Viktor seems to have, I feel like I saw the next dialogue coming. Not in like a bad way, but...
No, but you could tell that he was completely devoid of that emotion. And
yes, from...
Like, there was no emotion on his face.
Mm-hmm.
He looked confused.
Like, he's... Here we go. Cold? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
That sucks, because that means he wouldn't need a cuddle buddy.
You're really losing out here.
Yeah. Or maybe I'll just become addicted to Shimmer, go to the Undercity, and wait in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to get that singular touch.
Yes. But, dude, episode 3, that singular touch looks euphoric. Are you kidding me?
Episode 3? No, episode 2.
It doesn't happen.
It happens here.
Does
it?
it?
Does. Yeah.
Oh, it does. You're right. I'm so sorry. Okay. So we get to talk about that then. But anyway, so he says, cold? No, I don't think so. And as Jayce is trying to get this cloth around him, he says a very mysterious line, kind of like, not a human. I don't think a human would say this.
Yeah. It made me almost feel robotic or like AI based. Like he's being programmed to feel a certain way, but cold is not the answer.
A potential... my bad. I sense a charge, a potential, a recursive impulse. Unpleasant, but cold isn't its name. I go, huh? It's like, are you searching your database for what?
I think he feels his body telling him to do something, but he doesn't know what it is yet. And I think we find out what that thing maybe is later on. Because I feel like he's trying to find his purpose now.
I also feel the dialogue he chose to say, like the things he said, were very... We're speaking to what it feels like to have, I think, magic in you. Like a potential, an impulse, a charge. And then especially at the seeing what he does when he does touch our boy down. I should have said that differently, but whatever. It's yeah. I think his eyes are also a little bit purple now too.
Yeah, not purple. His eyes changed, but they look clear yellow. They look devoid of any magic.
I see purple, sir.
Do you see purple?
Sir, I see purple.
I think you're colorblind.
I'm not colorblind. I see purple. But maybe his eyes change color, because he is full of the magic goo now.
He is.
Full of the magic goo and Shimmer and Viktor, which is an important ingredient. We cannot forget that he is 1/3 Viktor.
1/3 Viktor.
1/3 Viktor, 1/3 Shimmer, 1/3 magical goo. That's how you make a perfect...
a perfect messiah.
Yes. Okay. And then we have... I'm spending so much time on this scene just because I don't want it to end.
Yeah, I can tell. But no, it is a very good scene to pay attention to.
His eyes are pale yellow, but it's purple here.
I see blue more than purple.
It is
I see it. I see a
purple.
tinge of blue. I don't see purple.
Purple? I see purple.
I do not. I'm sorry.
You speak lies.
I, one of us speaks in riddles. One of us speaks in rhymes.
Mm. Mm.
I don't see purple here. I see a tinge of blue at the bottom. I see a very pale yellow, maybe some brown, but I do not see purple.
Do I have to get the eyedropper tool out?
Yeah, I think you might have to at this point because I do not see this.
Okay. I'll die. I won't die on this hill. I'll let you. I see purple.
You know what? Purple's not even technically a real color, so
Oh god. Oh, here we go. Okay, so yeah, basically he's like, hey, this scene's like, hey, I'm not really Viktor anymore. I'm fundamentally changed to the core. And then he's, oh, this reminded me of Soma. If you haven't played it,
I need to
get
I know
on
it's
it.
one of the best horror games out there.
I wouldn't even necessarily say that. I would just say it's a really good story you need to experience. Because some people might not find it that skitty.
No, not horror in that sense, but like horror, like in the horror genre, like one of the best games out there.
But yes, this was very organically creepy. And to continue on, they end up saying goodbye, but Jayce tries not to. And I know, don't worry, I won't forget the best thing, best part.
I was talking about his ears again. I don't think those are his ears.
Say that again.
I was talking about his ears again. We did see one of his ears. His left ear. His left ear does not look like the way.
It's an ear, like a real ear.
Yeah, it's a real ear. But maybe his right is the one that changed. I don't know.
But yeah, so Viktor basically like looks down, looks at his hand, and says, "I was supposed to die," and I think that's an important part of his character moving forward. I think he's kind of viewing this second opportunity as I need to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. I
It's
have
not
a
his
mission.
life.
Yes. And then we get a beautiful line from Jayce about how complicated these choices are.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to play that out because let's talk about it.
Our
There is
paths
one.
diverged long ago. It was affection.
There it is. I'm so glad I forgot. I didn't forget. Why is there a base boost on affection?
You skipped over something I want to talk about though.
Then tell me,
No,
sir.
I didn't realize that you skipped over it until now. But when he goes to grab the book,
Okay.
I wanna watch you do that real quick.
What do you want to talk about?
Here in the lab. With you.
So
Go ahead. Go for it.
no, I wanna. Okay, right here. See how the hex tech blueprints are underneath, and he's specific. I feel like that was intentional. I feel like this scene spoke to me as him choosing to go with Sky's blueprints instead of hex techs. He's stepping away from hex tech here. I don't know. I feel like that was a very conscious choice to put the hex tech blueprints. All of his previous work, he's leaving that behind, and he's taking Sky's path now. It was something that I really, it really stood out to me. I found really interesting.
I don't know. I guess I didn't see it that way, but I think maybe it's one of those poetic things that the writers do for the audience's sake. Whereas,
Yeah. Like I don't feel like it was significant in that sense, but it really spoke to me on that it was intentional that the artists put the blueprints where it was.
like Fortiche put that there for us as a
Yeah.
artistic choice, but Viktor wasn't like, oh, here's the blueprints.
Viktor wasn't like, conscious of it, but like I feel like that was an artistic choice that really stood out to me.
Oh yeah, you can see the blueprint for the rifle under here. Good point, Chris. Yeah, maybe it was intentional then. Okay. Good. Thank you for pointing that out. I would have known that. This is a sad moment though. I don't like this part of this. But he has a base boost on affection. Like he put a effect on his voice here.
Diverged long ago. It was affection that held us together.
Yeah, it does. It's so heavy too.
Why? Is it almost like he was searching for the word, or is it Why? Like, just
It's a lot for him.
I don't know.
I feel like there's like it's like accenting a note in music. Like you want people to focus on that note.
Yeah, I agree, but why? I'm trying to ask why you think they want us to
Yeah.
focus on that note.
Because I just feel like he's so devoid of affection now. He's seeing past that. I mean, like we know that he's completely devoid of emotion now, or at least he's seeming to be, or at least maybe not completely, or maybe he's acting. Who knows? But he seems to be completely devoid of that affection now, and he's saying that was the only thing holding us together. That's gone now.
Okay. This moment bums me.
Yeah, and I really do like what Jayce says after this.
Yes,
entire line.
it gets into the difficulties of.
Mhm.
I think it's almost a line you could use to sum up Arcane as a whole. This next thing that Jayce says.
You think it's so easy? To turn your back while your whole city looks to you for salvation? To cling to principles while your best friend bleeds out in your arms? I never asked for this!
Bam. Yeah. Well, we were talking about Jayce because a lot of people don't like Jayce. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's.
And I also think it speaks a lot to Kate's situation currently. Jayce's situation in season 1, but Kate's situation now. Where they're kind of being thrown into this very emotionally volatile state where they're not sure what to do and they're losing sight of like what they wanted to do initially. It's just you have to it's such an emotionally invested person being thrown into such an emotionally volatile state where you're supposed to ignore your emotions.
There's a lot I'm trying to express with what I want to get across, but I don't think I'm going to be able to successfully do it, so potentially just might make it into a video. But this line here of to turn your back while your city looks to you for salvation, to cling to your principles while your best friend bleeds out in your arms. I never asked for this. The I never asked for this speaks to, I think, why a lot of people don't like Jayce. I think he was walked through, like he's just kind of constantly walked down a line of this, now this, now this, now this, and constantly adapting as he had to, as he went. But I appreciate the lines of pointing out how difficult and nuanced it is with the situation he was in. And I think that was what Arcane does so well. So I like that line a lot. It felt like a summary line. You could almost sum up a major theme or a major point of the show with the line that Jayce just said there.
Yeah, Jayce's line there is so powerful, and I think it deserves a lot of attention.
Okay, here's its attention, chat. Attention! Attention! How else can I make attention?
An entire video would be nice.
Oh. Okay, that's fair. Alright, we'll continue on, but at the end, he says goodbye.
Try my best to get you guys silly content, don't worry.
He says goodbye, Jayce. And just says goodbye, Jayce. And I took that line also as a double meaning line. Because it sounded like, yeah, literally, I'm leaving now. But also, Jayce, I am so different that this is a departure of person. Departure of everything that stood before us. This is like we're diverging paths.
Yeah. I think Viktor did die.
But also, like, goodbye, Jayce, nothing's the same anymore. It's not even, like, a literal goodbye.
Yeah.
So, what a sad moment. But Viktor's back! Yay!
Yeah! Hi, Arcane Jesus.
Alright. Next scene. Would you mind describing what we see in the next scene?
Oh,
No?
is this the scene where, first of all, we get to see Heimerdinger be very silly.
Oh boy.
But,
Oh boy. We'll get into this.
But we also see it's back to Ekko's little Undercity reprieve. And it's really about the leaf that falls down and
Wait. I'm so sorry. There was a question from Mango.
Mango?
It'd be fun to talk about. What do you think of all of this chat before between jeez, get it together, mouth. Come on. Okay, I got
Uh-huh.
it. Between Jayce and Viktor, I saw a lot of criticism that it was rushed, but I thought this was fine.
I mm, I don't think that this was rushed. I mean, Victor comes. I mean, I understand that if Victor was the person that he was before getting into that pod or whatever you want to call it, that cocoon, I think he would have came out and he would have worked with Jayce to figure out what happened to him. But he's not that person anymore. Something has clicked in his head. So I think of it more of people going through a traumatic moment and like they find something in that traumatic moment that gives them their salvation and like really changes them fundamentally as a person. He found whatever that was, and whether it be through Sky speaking to him or what.
You know what? To speak on that, it feels like this is beneath him almost, and that he doesn't want to waste time on it.
Yeah, like there's more important things to life. Like when people say like they go through like for example like an extreme surgery or something like that, and they're like they think that they're gonna die, and they come out and they realize the meaning of life and they start living their life way differently. It feels like that in a sense, not in the way that he wants to live his life to the fullest, but that his life has a different purpose now, and he knows that. He's just completely devoid of emotion at this point. He does not care about this relationship. This relationship is
Beneath
not
him.
beneath.
I think
not-
it's beneath him. No, with
Yeah,
the whole
yeah,
Messiah
yeah,
figure.
beneath him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he
but,
actually like when he said the word
it's still
affection.
unimportant.
When he said
Yeah,
the word
it's-
affection, he's like, yeah, the affection's also beneath me.
Yeah, like it's just not important to him anymore. And I feel like him rushing through this and just leaving is the best way to show that.
Well, okay, I can see that point of people think Jayce should have maybe followed Viktor to keep the conversation going. But I don't know if Jayce is that kind of person. I think he respects Viktor enough as a person to...
He also probably thinks Victor might come back.
I do wish I had, as like a viewer, I wish the scene lasted longer just because I wanted more of it.
Yeah. But I think it's fair that we didn't get that.
But Viktor here seems very quick to like, I also think that's part of the magical transcendence that he went through. I think he's just quick. Like, he's just kind of like a computer when it's so quick that it's like talking slow is, you know, that analogy of an AI when you're typing into its prompt, each keystroke is like 1,000 years for it because it just processes information so fast. I think that's how he views Jayce now.
Yeah. He is on a completely different playing field now. He's, I mean, like I said earlier, he's not human at this point. He doesn't see himself as human. I don't believe that he is completely human anymore.
He's 1/3
He
Viktor?
is-
He's 1/3.
Yeah, he's 1/3 Victor. He's only 1/3 Victor, and that's really affected his brain. Like that's affected his outlook on everything. Even though he just immediately came out of the pod, he obviously has this purpose that he's following now.
Oh yeah, also would he... Yeah, Jayce was pretty stunned. Maybe that's why he didn't argue for him to stay.
Yeah, that as well.
And the cane! The cane!
And I do agree with Chris. I think that Jayce following after Victor would have just been more please come back. What are you doing, Victor? Like that kind of thing. Like more sense and style out of it.
Yeah, it wouldn't
Wouldn't
have...
have been anything of value.
It wouldn't have been double stacked. And we need that dialogue double stacked, because they're trying to fit a lot in, aren't they? Okay, so you can take it. I'm so sorry. I didn't want that scene to end. It was just... I liked it so much.
But no, this is a scene where we take a look at Ekko. We get to kind of catch up on what's been going on with him. We see that ever since the whole Jinx situation has happened, there's been a lot more people coming to his city. And we
Secret
see,
little city.
yeah, and we do see this leaf start, like the leaves are kind of falling off of his tree, and they do look like they're infected with this kind of almost. I don't want to call it shimmer because I don't know if that's what it is, because I don't think that's what it is. But
No.
this kind of death almost.
So
like, it
they
looks like
established
died.
that earlier. There was the same patterns within the plants. Remember, so before
Yeah.
with Victor, they were doing the plants, and the plants would always die. It looks the same as it
Yeah.
did there. There were like two other little things. They were worried about the security of the situation because they're letting so many people in. Our little big-eared Batman, not Batman, like the emo little
I see
Joker
him as a
guy.
mouse man.
Okay, in my mind, he's a Batman. Okay.
Man bat.
Not Man Bat, thank you. He's concerned about security. So
Yeah.
like, but Ekko
But
is very quick to like, hey, don't even, because you know, he's like very quick to like, don't even you get close to suggesting that we're not gonna help people, because that's exactly what we're doing. Yes. And also the little moment with Heimerdinger with the bubbles. We see him being silly with the kiddos. So that didn't aggravate me at all. But I do want to talk about Heimerdinger being a bit silly, because
I do want to
thoughts.
talk about Heimerdinger underneath the in the next scene. In the next scene.
This is just because you brought it up, and it's a good point. It has that organic design that we can see was basically the similar design, if not the same design, to what Viktor was in. That circular odd goo. Okay. So, yeah, they're concerned about it. I have some gripes here. Okay? I'm doing the little finger guns pointing to each other, nervous thing right now, because because I think this was the first time, for real, throughout Arcane, that I actually made a face of disgust.
Really?
Yes.
This scene?
This scene.
I'm curious. What disgusted you?
I don't know if disgust is completely the right word, but this scene when they're
okay. I thought you were talking about them talking
No!
about it for the treehouse. I was like,
was
what
fine.
disgusting about this? I'm so curious.
So
No, this.
Give me a break. Okay, wait, I can explain myself.
Go ahead.
Okay,
You have
okay.
the floor.
I have the floor. Oh no, the floor is big. Okay, so I was kind of initially confused, and maybe I could be talked through this. But I was initially confused that Heimerdinger was so fast to want to go to Hextech as the solution, given how much he has not liked the organic relation that it's had. Like, he has been, okay, I'm proud of you, Jayce, you've made improvements, but still, this needs a decade of testing. Like, he has been thoroughly cautious of it. But he was very quick to, hey, I know a solution potentially. Let's go here. This, to me, this moment was like, okay, I know I've been begging for motions of reprieve and like lighter moments. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. I don't understand this choice. Because maybe we don't know Heimerdinger well enough and they're trying to characterize him a bit more for me. But if this is his character, I'm sorry, he's now one of my least favorite characters. Because there's just so many, like, was he trying to make Ekko laugh? Like, what was he do? Okay, I'm getting worked up. Okay,
if he was really trying to be stealthy here, he made so much more noise by being stealthy. He, like, literally near the end, he jumps and like slams into the vents right before they go up. Like, I was like, dude, what are you doing?
So I just don't understand what they're trying to accomplish. I think they're just trying to make us, the audience, laugh. I can't really I can't figure out what other writing choice they're doing here. I don't know. They could have had them sneak in and that's fine. And they get caught and everything would have been exactly the same. But this goofy little moment with the mask too, like, okay, here I have one way I can interpret it that makes me less angry. It's like, because he's been hanging out with the kids, he's been extra fun, bubbly, and maybe he's disconnected from what's happening, because he's been in this like really happy little safe haven bubble for a little bit of time now. I can see that. That makes a little bit of sense. But like it's fucking ridiculous, mate.
This is supposed to be a somewhat serious break-in to the counselor's building. Like,
and even Ekko is not taking, like, Ekko should be knowing Ekko, like, because Ekko is like, yeah, dude, you can't just make up things on the spot and if they have no meaning, like we didn't make them up beforehand. Ekko should also be a little bit more stressed out. Like, yo, Ekko's always taking stuff seriously.
We are in a very high security area. We are breaking into Hextech labs.
It doesn't.
We could easily be killed for this on the spot.
Oh, you know what? Here we go. You know what? This is the first scene I feel like you could actually cut out of Arcane and nothing would change. Like, you could cut it out and everything would functionally still be working. And that's, I don't think you could say that for anything else. I don't know, but I didn't like it. I'm sorry. I kind of like was making a grimace face of like, really? Like I was making a confused face, like, no. And I kept thinking maybe they'd redeem it by making Ekko be like, oh, stop being silly or something. But no, it was
No, he doesn't call it out either. He's like, this is normal. This
No.
is Heimerdinger.
This is Heimerdinger. So that's just how I felt. But let's play it in the background while we chat about it. But I was okay. Also, another question: would they really not be okay with Heimerdinger even trying to come back? Would they absolutely be like, no, you can't come in?
Ekko even says that. Don't you practically own this place?
Yeah, they
He
almost
literally says
pointed
that.
out, like,
Yeah, like why he's like, I think that's why Ekko's like so not serious about this either, is because he's like, why are we doing this? Like, you own this place, dude. Like, let's just go up there. Like, he's just casually walking. He's just like a little crouch because his head might hit the earth.
Okay. This right here, from the left to the right, he's not even hiding under, like, taking cover under. Look,
he's going under the
Just
vent specifically.
no, but like he goes left. What is happening? So, but maybe I'm just, hear me out. I'm gonna keep going, okay? Because I am worried. But Arcane is constantly in an atmosphere of stress, right? I talked about this again in stream 1, and when we were talking about season 1 in the other stream as well. And I was like, hey, I think Arcane could benefit from some lighter moments because it makes it hard to keep digesting really thick content of just take it in the ass. Like, it can get kind of painful. Yeah. You need moments of, like, give me a break. Because this doesn't fit already naturally, like, with what's actually narratively going on, the moment is so contrasty, like, so different from the stress that it stands so far apart. It's like a white and black kind of, like, a light shining down. You see what I'm saying?
It is too silly. It's too
silly.
I'd appreciate a little bit of silliness from Heimerdinger, but like this is
I wanted some more reprieve, a nice little breath moment, and this is what I received.
Yeah.
But...
Also, did you see what Ho-Hum said?
No, what did Ho-Hum say?
I could cut out all the Smeech seeds and keep this.
No, don't you dare say that. Smeech.
I agree.
Well, no, because Smeech acts as a tool for Jinx and
no, I just want to do
Sevika.
it to spite you.
Oh, is there a little smiley face? Oh, he okay. He's just playing with me. Of course.
I want to do it just to spite you as well, but
like Smeech acts as a fundamental way of gluing, getting together Jinx and Sevika. So they would have to find another Smeech replacement, and then like you could cut out Smeech maybe, but you need to replace him with some other kind of glue, and Smeech was that connection. So I don't know. Listen, Amy, I have absolutely no problem if you enjoy it. This scene could have made you laugh, smile. It could have been cute for you, and I'm not even mad at that. I just was not one of those, unfortunately, and wish I think they could have done a scene that made more sense and still was lighthearted and didn't really destroy Heimerdinger's character so much. But yeah, and maybe that's just how Yordles are. But I don't know. Sorry if that's a bad take. That's my take though.
Yeah, no. And to Chris's point here, he's saying, "Isn't Heimerdinger hasn't touched politics in ages? Has it been that long? When did he got kicked out post time skip, right, out of the council? So which means he only touched touched politics like what, a week ago?
Yeah, but also he lives for hundreds of years, so that's nothing.
Yeah. So like I mean, he was very much in that. I do feel like it is a bit of a personality.
And hear me out. He can't be ignorant to what's been happening topside, right? Like. Yeah. He must know about the terror attack. He must know how serious. He probably would assume that guards are like
super
because
high security.
Exactly, because of what happened episode 1 with first off the nuke to the top of the tower, but also the terror attack. Why would he have any? Yeah, if he had to make an assumption with that knowledge, why would you assume that it's not very serious? Why would you assume that it's the other way around?
And even if he is, even if this is him assuming that it's very serious and trying to
Okay,
like
then he's just a little
be
dumb.
serious about it, yeah, then he's just stupid, and I don't like that look for him.
No, that's not a good. If we get to the conclusion, then he's just stupid, then that's not good.
Yeah, that's not good. This man has been alive for what, over 300 years at this point. I think he should wisen up a little bit. I understand that he's very stuck in his ways, but what kind of ways are these? Yeah, it's that line. Don't you
Look,
essentially own this place? He's
okay,
like, shh.
but his
Keep
eye,
running.
yeah, his eyes there were almost the meta of like, I know. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Look at
Like
his
you almost
eyes.
made him break character.
Yeah, look at his eyes right here. Ready?
He's like,
He's
oh,
like,
oh.
yes, a little bit. Like, yeah, I do, but
Yeah, like he almost realizes for a second that he's being silly. I don't understand it. I don't understand the person that like the tone shift in him.
I'm not saying his character is actually destroyed, Jamie. I'm just saying
No,
it
not at all.
changes how his character is
Is
from
viewed.
season 1. Like
Yeah.
it destroys the pre-perceived or pre-constructed version of who I had him as in my head.
Yeah.
Whereas I didn't mean it like, oh, he's just this awful character no more, but he definitely doesn't fit what I built up as a framework for like things he would and wouldn't do. I had framed him as this wasn't something Heimerdinger would do, but now it is. So I kind of had to take out some Legos to what I had built and put in new Legos, and now I have the new version of Heimerdinger. So I guess I used destroyed in that manner of like he's different in my. I had to reconstruct my psyche for this man because he went around tunnels all silly willy. But okay, well, now that we got that out of the system, we can get to what they discover about the leaf, because that's, you know, he is coming up here for trying to figure out how to save this tree. Also, this is so useful to have, by the way, a set of tunnels underneath the main building that have
Yeah, that have ladders leading directly into labs and things.
Try to think if that would have ever been useful before. I'm hoping there wasn't a situation where having tunnels underneath would have been like completely changing everything.
I mean, useful to the characters or just useful in general?
I guess a moment where if there were tunnels, it would have changed what people would have done.
I think it would have changed Mel and Jayce's relationship if Jayce would have used them when him and Viktor were trying to break into that one room.
Oh,
They would have used them
wait,
instead.
could they have broken in this way?
I think so. Yeah, like maybe. Like I genuinely that could have changed the entire arc of the like story.
Wait, maybe. Wait, maybe only Heimerdinger knows about these
Only knows
tunnels.
about them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who knows about them. and
Who knows
doesn't.
about these tunnels?
Yeah,
They're well lit, right?
they are very,
and
they're
they're
maintenance
clean.
shafts, I believe.
But
Yeah,
like they're not dusty. They're kept clean.
yeah. So like, there's obviously people down here. It's like people know about them. I just wonder if he knew about them, and or if Viktor knew about them. I don't know. A very, very interesting thought though, because that very easily could have impacted the story way back then.
Oh yeah, and then they undo all of the screws, which is silly, but you know, it's a fun little thing. Again, like I don't hate Heimerdinger now. I just think whatever I was seeing in him in season 1 must have been wrong. I must have seen him as.
I do, although like Chris's point here, he says no, Heimerdinger's character would change when Ekko showed him the treehouse. It showed him in the treehouse. You need to give them what they need to live. I do like that.
Okay, but
I do still feel like this is drastic.
no. Here's why I think it happened off screen. Like I understand that he's been down there and he's been doing this stuff, and we see him be in awe of it for like 3 seconds, looking at the cool stuff. But I didn't see the moments where he was actively becoming this new Heimerdinger, if that's the case.
Yeah. That's the big thing, is that we didn't see this transition. It kind of feels like it jumped.
I mean, I see it though. Like it makes sense. How long do you think he was down there? Actually, I can't.
I don't know, because like
week at least? No, longer.
I mean, like how? Yeah, like I mean, that hasn't not been only like a couple weeks, if at most. I feel like it hasn't been that long since Vi got out of prison.
Actually, I'm really interested to talk about the time frame.
Yeah, the
which-
time in between episode, let's say from episode 3 of season 1 to now. Like, what is the time frame on that? Because I don't feel like it's been more than a year.
No, it had to have been because there was the wait. No, someone in chat would know. But all I'm trying to suggest is yes, change happens, but when I think of myself and how I've learned and grown and changed as a person, I feel it takes me a bit of time, at least a few weeks maybe, for like such a huge change. And then on top of that, if I lived for a few hundred years, I think I would be more resilient to change, just because you kind of get stuck in your ways as you get a bit older. But maybe Yordles are just different. Maybe he's just a different fella. Anyway, I still want to punt him. He looks so cute. Okay.
He looks so cute.
Oh yeah, you weren't around for season 1, but like when he was walking.
No,
around...
okay.
Okay.
When we
sorry.
were watching it together, you did say that.
And he
I
just
said I
looks like
wanted
a
to punt him
perfect
too.
little football shape.
He is a little football.
Okay. Yeah, maybe he changed, and it's just so silly. It stood out to me as a thing I didn't unfortunately enjoy. Then he almost gets blasted by Jayce, and Jayce is confused why he's breaking in, and offers Ekko tea after the situation calms down, and they take a moment to look at the leaf.
I do love that scene though. Between he's like, "This is my new pupil."
Yes.
Ekko, this is my old pupil. People were saying that it felt very much like introducing a new boyfriend to an ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, it does have that vibe. You're right. Oh yeah. Okay, so basically they confirm that this is the same stuff. And then they're like, wait, but where do you say you are? Oh, that's another thing with him being very silly. I do think it made him a bit stupider. Really,
Yeah,
because
he almost gives away every little bit of information here.
Maybe it's because he
Trust
he
Jayce.
really trusts Jayce. But
Yeah,
why
and he
would
doesn't-
he? After Jayce was the reason he's not
On
up
the
here
council,
anymore.
yeah, there's absolutely no grudge against Jayce or anything like that. He's just talking to him like he's an old friend. And like I understand that it really wasn't personal.
It's almost
to
like he
Heimerdinger to do
forgot
that.
everything.
But yeah, it's like there's no conflict. There was conflict here, and it never got resolved. It never even got talked about.
Remember,
and they
he was
just
a
completely
sad little
ignored it.
sack of shit with the hood up and walking down,
Yeah,
and then
just
like,
walking down the Undercity.
hmm.
Like I that's the part I don't get. Like this just seems very, and it's like even Jayce is just like, oh, Heimerdinger, you're here. Let's work. Like doesn't know anything about Ekko or who Ekko is, why they're trying to break into his lab. He's just like, okay. I don't know. It's very, 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 very different.
I don't know. Specifically the thing that took me off guard was how quick he was to divulge the information.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's quick to forgive and forget.
And he quit, and he even when Ekko was like, "Stop it," he just kept going.
He made it worse.
didn't-
Yeah.
He didn't catch himself at all. And it's like you would think a man who's been around for this long would be more careful with his word choice.
And also, would he want Ekko knowing about all of this stuff? I don't know. It had me. The fact that it had me a bit confused of why
Yeah.
he was doing it.
Heimerdinger's like just overall personality just feels very wildly different. And again, it's not something that I necessarily absolutely despise,
No.
but it is something that very heavily throws me off.
I just thought it didn't fit Arcane's vibe. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wrong. It's part of Arcane, so I guess it's part of Arcane's vibe. Maybe he's
Also-
so. Go ahead.
Just when he came in and like Jayce aims to hammer at him, he goes Heimerdinger, and he's like, "Of course! Why would you, of course, be there?"
Yeah, he almost feels a little bit stupid.
Yeah, like what do you mean? Of course? Why are you here?
I sincerely feel like he was on like a laffy gas juice or something. Like
Yeah,
he was a little drunk or something going through those hallways.
Shimmer on the way here.
A little bit of shimmer. Maybe it's the underground smog. He's been breathing too much of it in. No, he hasn't because he's with
No,
the
he's
tree.
been in the Queen Air, yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. He's like, of course it's me. Oh, and there's this great
Yeah.
like, and even after Ekko said, "What are you doing? Please be quiet." That kind of just
Yeah,
made it
like,
worse.
he
I don't
just
know.
keeps going.
Silly. Not the silly kind of silly. Just silly. All right.
Just so.
Just silly. Yeah, so they clear the throat, but basically they're like, hey, where did you find this, though? Found this deep underground. So, Jayce is kind of like, how? What? Why? Maybe he had to divulge that information for narrative purposes. Thinking if I view it as a writer, how else would... No, I guess you could still say I was, traveling in the underground. Like, you wouldn't have to divulge the information of it being a home.
Yeah, there are ways to just completely almost like dismiss that question as well, because and I feel like Heimerdinger would be smart enough to just do that, to just be that person who's just like, oh, like either don't worry about that or I found it while we were searching the underground.
You
Like,
know,
anything.
You know how we were talking about multiple characters having like a core principle, like Sevika being loyal, for example?
Yeah.
Maybe his one of his core principles is just honesty.
Yeah.
He seems really open and friendly. I'm trying to think what core principle would you assign to Heimerdinger with all of the episodes we've seen, season 1 and now what we've seen?
I mean, honesty does very much fit him.
Honesty?
Yeah, honesty does fit him, but
There's something that's
curious to
probably a
see
little
if
bit better.
if anybody has a differing opinion on that.
Yeah. But well, it doesn't have to be necessarily different, or maybe slightly left or right, or something more on the nose, because maybe he what's the word when you always expect the best in people? Because I think that is maybe what he has. He sees the
Naive.
Is he naive? Because he's
No,
300
I wouldn't call him
years...
naive, but that's the word I would associate with seeing the
Oh,
best in
damn.
people.
I would disagree. I don't think I associate it with naive. I think that's a strong
No, I
suit.
don't. I don't associate it with naive. Is what I'm saying. I associate that with the what you were saying about seeing the best in people. I would call that naive, but I don't associate Heimerdinger with naive.
No. Okay, I'm saying I disagree fundamentally with seeing the best in people isn't naive.
Oh, okay.
But I can see how it could be. Okay, let's see what we got. Sincerity, that makes sense.
What if I said silly?
Dude? No. No. Maybe you could. I could see it. You can get away with it if you'd like. I can see why the internet, though, is disagreeing over what they've chosen to do with him. Because it's just a different tone.
Yeah, when he's in a political role, he feels so different than when he's in the role he's in currently. And I don't know, that feels very odd to his character.
It's almost mysterious. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, we did have the theory that he was that Heimerdinger was that person in the Yordle in the gimp suit in the Undercity. In the brothel. So, maybe... Actually, guys, I forgot about that entirely. I think we gotta... How could I forget? He's part of the brothel. He's adventurous. There we go.
Adventurous?
He's adventurous. Okay. Alright. So basically, like, hey, this is found deep underground, and Jayce has this revelation of, wait, you said underground? Like, deep underground? And then he kind of realizes, like, don't they pan to where Viktor just came from? The goo box tube? They do.
Yeah.
And Heimerdinger is like, uh-oh.
Also, how did he know that was Viktor? Heimerdinger.
Did he know it was Viktor?
He says, where's Viktor? Right after this. And Jayce has not mentioned anything about this situation at all.
Survive? They weren't what we were trying to
That
say.
threw me for a
So
loop.
that would imply that he has some intellect, if he could piece those pieces together.
Yeah, so quickly. But, like...
Oh, wait, no. What does he say?
Right
How
here,
could it
when
be
he
there
notices.
and here? Oh no.
Not a word is said. Hold on, keep going.
I'm just trying to make sure I don't get copyrighted, that's all.
Okay. Yes, sorry.
Where's Victor?
Yeah.
He
Where's
says
Victor?
it. He says it nervously too.
Like he knows.
Well, he knows.
Like-
Well, who's the only other person that would work on this stuff? It has to be Victor. So I guess that could make sense, right? Like it wouldn't be anybody else.
I guess he could piece it together, but it's just very odd that he knew. I don't know.
Who else
It
would?
threw me off.
Who else would it be? But it wouldn't. Maybe the fact that he said it so nervously.
Yeah.
He is cringe and he is free. I like that. He is cringe and he is free. Okay, so we cut to. Actually, I wanted to make sure I point out the screaming in the background here and the chattering sound because that's what Victor was hearing in his ears when. So I was curious if maybe the screaming he was hearing. Remember, he was hearing Sky's voice, and he was also hearing screaming and like a lot of suffering sounds. Do you think he was hearing the environment that Sky was near? Like the
maybe
people
where she was
underneath?
trying to guide him.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I don't know. It's just because if it is, go ahead.
I had originally interpreted that as the chaotic nature of the hex core,
Mm.
like seeing into that world kind of thing.
So
but
then Arcane or the Hex core would innately be a bit frightening. It's trying to
Yeah.
propose. Okay.
yeah, that's how I originally saw it, but that's a good point.
I just wasn't sure.
He could be following that screaming.
I mean, also, it just sets the tone. So I could overreading it. I was just curious what you saw
Yeah.
in it because I wasn't sure if they were trying to say this is the sound of where Sky was, or hey, this arcane goo stuff, it's got some scary little screaming inside of it. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, that's an interesting outlook on it, though. I'm curious to see how that would pan out.
Okay, so we get the scene. Oh, I guess we're giving little clips of Victor, so I don't think we should really talk about that yet. But basically, we get a little moment of Victor's walking deep in the Undercity. We see he's kind of making his way towards where people are suffering the most. And
Can you go frame by frame with this one too?
no. It's just a small moment. We see that
Yeah, I know.
people are.
Victor.
Oh yeah, okay, I see. I see. We see that people are noticing him. Specifically, your boy, you got a bingo card, didn't you?
Oh yes. I got my bingo card here.
And what was your bingo
Where,
card for?
there he is, right there. My boy Huck has returned.
Yeah.
I love that man.
So Huck and I guess his friend are scavenging for food.
His friend. Would not call that a friend.
Nah, as a friend. Yeah, you don't just
stole that rotten
yeah, you don't
apple.
just dig in a dumpster with any. Oh yeah, you're right. He did steal it from him.
Yeah.
No, but I'd only dig in a dumpster with my bestest of friends. That's what I'm saying. They're best friends.
Yeah. All right.
And we just get a suggestion that Victor is probably going to be mugged.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like people are noticing him. Okay, this part. I feel like this episode is probably actually my least favorite now that I think about it.
Really?
Only because it has some of my favorite moments. Okay, let me rephrase. There's just a lot of moments in this episode where I was let down.
Mm-hmm.
And we can talk about that if you want.
I'm
Okay.
curious where you went down here.
Oh, it's not for a bit.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then I think I see what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we get a montage, cool little multiple Jinxes doing something to the boxing machine. And as she's doing this thing, which we're not quite sure what she's doing, but she's working on something, we get our first close-up look at what the smog personification is. I'll go slow through this because I know you guys were saying earlier that this was what they were. But what that creature was with the growl.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what this is.
Because it does have like the wispy stuff, so I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
But why would it have the woofy growl? I do not understand.
Yeah, almost like ethereal kind of growl too. Like
Again, this is a Taco Bell. So we see the face forming here, and this is when I stopped and I was like, "Is Zach in season 2 Arcane?" Because he's like this green goopy guy, but it gave me Ghostbusters, which is fine. You can give Ghostbusters. Did anybody think this was literal for a second? That it was like an actual monster? Did you?
I did. When we had originally, so I think originally saw this one, yeah, because I thought this was like some sort of entity coming after her,
Mm.
but I didn't understand what it was.
Okay, so I love that. The fact that you thought it was an entity or that anybody could have, because I think maybe for a little bit I kind of thought it was a real monster. I did. I
Yeah.
was like, yo, Zach? And then they're like, no. So I was like, okay, I guess not Zach.
No.
Keep playing. But they did such a poetic job of making the team kind of become part of this thing. Like, they embodied it into a character itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of looks like Fiddlesticks. Interesting. Oh, I can see it.
Yeah, people were sending pictures of that last night. I saw that. It was very reminiscent.
Ah, okay. I get it, chat. I see.
Okay, yes, but so my main argument here, right? First of all, white compared to blue, and 2 compared to 3.
Oh, well, the eyes. Oh, you're saying the eyes were a bit.
The eyes that we saw earlier were blue, very blue. These are completely white.
I can see a little bit of
And
blue.
this is also 2 compared to 3. Yeah,
Oh, like the eye, like how-
Yeah, how many there are.
Well, maybe
Like
it's.
the
Oh, I
stark
see.
difference in blue compared to white. I don't know.
Chat's convinced me. They've convinced me because I think basically it was like the writers were purposely making it this way, making it hard, like like a monster kind of. It could have been one person with their head turned, and
And it also could have been him just like with his bloodshot eyes seeing triple. But at the same time, the blue is what really throws me off. The blue specifically is what throws me off.
Hmm.
It was very blue, like stark difference. I cannot even see a hint of blue in this compared to that. That is the only thing that I don't know. I can't be convinced, I guess.
I'm convinced of it, but I don't know what the wolf growl is for. Unless
Yeah, and also that.
that can be
it seems
explained.
Very scary.
I'm gonna sneeze. Oh no. Oh no.
Don't do it.
Don't
Not
do
on
it.
stream.
Okay, it's gone.
Nice.
That's my magical power. I can stop my sneezes.
I don't think it's a great magical power.
No, it doesn't feel very good. My head gets really like cold and tingly after I do it.
Yeah, it's not great. it's your body wanting to expel something. I feel like your body not expelling that thing that it wants to might be not great.
It's okay. We don't sneeze here. By the way, guys, if any of you sneeze, unsub. I don't take sneezers here.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, sneezing not allowed. Okay, so this is a huge heavy moment for Jinx. It's cool for the viewers, but I was really...
Yeah, it does look like Omen. Thank God somebody agrees with me. I feel validated.
Good, I'm glad you feel validated. The Jinx is seeing that this is Vi. And I don't know how that wouldn't break anybody's heart. Like, I'm trying to think of her perspective.
Yeah, she sees that her sister has become an enforcer.
Because it took a lot of work for the writers to show the audience how Vi ended up in an enforcer uniform and that making sense. And not being an outlandish, just, you want to see her in an enforcer uniform, so here you go. Like, they really worked for this moment. Vi just, like, here she is in an enforcer uniform, and I think with everything that's happened to her, I mean, she does run out of this place crying and screaming after. That would shatter Jinx and further implement her beliefs. So yeah, they come in, they're looking real cool through the smog, or as Narfi, who's not here, knows, I accidentally called it the smut when I was reading.
The smut?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I kept calling the smog the smut, and like, I promised them I would at least call it that once, so. There's a lot of thick smut here, and we see them looking
Uh-huh.
around.
What Arcane's known for, it's smart.
Yes. Okay, so they're looking around, and the part I had a minor question about that we can talk about, chat, and I'll talk about with you, SD. Please don't disagree. Please do disagree if you want to. Please don't just agree. Sorry, combine those two there. My brain was confused about the orientation of Jinx in relation to the tier, and then also why the drop would evoke such a reaction from Vi. Like, how would she assume that it is Jinx? Or not Jinx, but assume that it's a person or like someone's here from that. Like, why wouldn't you assume it's a hole in the ceiling or a leaky pipe or anything else other than like, oh my gosh, it's a tear?
Well, I don't think she assumed that it was a tear. I think she saw a drop come from above, and it could have been anything. I am confused by the orientation, especially the way that Jinx aims her gun there.
Mm-hmm.
She aims it on an angle, which means that she's not directly above Vi. So I am confused on how the drop landed on the goggles. Like, she's not aiming it straight down.
No.
So which means the tear should not have hit the goggle at all. I agree.
I think her tear goes up her nose.
But I think
No.
if she thought it was really a person for sure, then she wouldn't have dismissed it so quickly.
No,
She
but
dismisses it
she's
very quickly.
does she? Okay, maybe
Yeah,
I read her body language wrong. Let me watch it again.
She looks up, she looks around for maybe a second or two, doesn't see anything, and then moves on.
Oh, okay, then I must have read it wrong. Let me watch into it again.
So at least from my recollection. But
Oh, because her tear does go down her nose, so that gives it an inch.
yeah, but like an inch, I don't think it would have landed on the goggles.
Okay, hold on, because I let me rewatch it for like the 7th time, because when I watched this originally, I clocked her as overreacting to the water drop. But let me watch it. It's like so frantic though. Like, it's not like looking up casually. It's someone's there.
I would also assume that somebody's there. Me personally, like if that had happened, I would also be like, "Oh, where'd that come from? Who dropped water on me?"
Really? I don't know. I wouldn't feel
Especially
that way.
in such a tense situation, she is on her guard.
But they've been going. I guess I don't know. I just felt I didn't like it. Felt.
But like quickly, I mean, like let it play out a little bit. Like,
yeah,
you'll see
she
how
stops.
quickly she seems to
I
dismiss
agree.
it.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I thought her frantic eye search and like looking up was too much for a water drop. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because as the audience, we know it's Jinx's tear, but why would she have any other assumption other than it's just a bit of water?
I mean, she's here for Jinx though, so she's on her top guard, and anything happening could be Jinx playing at her. But yeah, she looks around for maybe a second or two, calms down, and then collects herself, and then moves on.
No, she's still looking up.
Hold on. And then after that, I think she moves on, right? Am I correct? Yeah.
I don't know how we would. No, Jinx collects herself. Yeah, Vi
yeah,
looks up
so
for
Vi
a while.
keeps looking around.
I'm not talking about Jinx. I'm talking about Vi.
Yeah, I mean, I still would be on my guard though if that happened.
Really? A drop of water? A
It's-
drop of
it seems-
water? You'd be like, oh my
but
god, the
it's-
fucking ceiling! When it's
On
like
the
full of
On
holes.
the thing that I'm holding with no other visible water around, this random drop of water drops on me, I would feel like Jinx is playing at me. Knowing how Jinx is too.
But they've been in the Undercity for a bit, exploring probably multiple areas they expect her to be. Like, I don't think it's like she's that high strung as that would not make sense. I don't know. It felt like it felt too over. I would so be cool with this if she like looked her head up and Jinx wasn't there. But the very like out of my chair, like frantic looking around.
Yeah.
That to me was like, what? Like, you knew as the writers that we know it's Jinx's tier and that Jinx is right there, so like it's adding tension when because it did have like a bit of a spooky horror vibe during this scene with like, will she be caught? Will she not be caught?
Yeah. I mean, I do agree that like you could see it as like a little overplayed. Like her reaction is a little overplayed. But
That's all. It's just a small detail. That's all.
Yeah, I would also understand why she overreacted.
Yeah, I can
Especially
understand
if
it.
she's scared. But I do agree very heavily that the tear should not have landed on the goggle. There's no
Okay,
way.
Maybe
There's no way.
SB says that Jinx jerks her head up, allowing her for the tear to get forward.
Long at it.
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, we gotta look at
Okay.
it. Don't just say.
Okay, yeah.
Gotta
Okay.
analyze.
No. I mean, my is not criticizing it.
Okay.
I apologize if it came off that way.
Give it a chance. Give them a chance. They
Yeah,
know
yeah.
things, alright? They know some things. Alright. So it does get like an extra. I don't know.
It does drop kind of straight down.
And that's, I don't know. It's just like one of
It's
those
just very
little
odd.
things where I go, oh, it took me out of it for a second. That's only reason I'm pointing it
Yeah.
out, because I went, oh, was she really like that right above her? Kind of thing. That's all. And there's also a cool parallel I want to point out, like a plus to this moment. I'm not sure if anybody else was feeling this tension too. But there's that tension in episode 3 or 2? I'm sorry, I can't remember, from season 1, where they were hiding together in the ceiling. When Vander had hit the button, and the enforcers were there, and the enforcer had come in the room to look to see if they could find the kids. And now here they are, but Jinx is alone, hiding from her sister, who is an enforcer. So, yeah, that's just a neat little...
Also makes me wonder if that's why Vi was so reactive.
Because she knows that Jinx hides in the ceiling?
Yeah, she knows Jinx's hiding spots. She knows this place.
That could be it. That could totally be it. But if she does, then she should get her ass in the ceiling and be like, I know Jinx can get up there.
Jump up there real quick.
I was kind of... Was anybody else disappointed with how quickly they cleared the building? Or no?
I mean, how big is the building? But yeah, they didn't clear the roof, which I find very odd from Vi's perspective. Especially bringing up that old scene from season 1.
Well, with how much smog there is, wouldn't you want to...
Yeah, actually clear every corner. Because you could just be hiding anywhere. And you see her obviously moving around, so she was able to. They
Also,
didn't clear it very well.
props to Jinx for not coughing up a storm.
Yeah.
She, like, tries to keep it in so hard. They didn't hear her. But I think maybe it's because she's been living under there for so long. Her lungs are kind of used to it. Because this is the stuff that would have totally taken out
The Undercity Council?
the Undercity Council. Yeah.
Like, they were coughing up a storm, and then Silco was just completely fine. I wonder if that has anything to do with it as well, but...
Oh, that's interesting. SP asks, sorry, I was reading, I should read these things out loud. Why would Jinx feel emotional seeing Vi as an enforcer? She worked with Marcus for years. It's Vi who had an issue with enforcers, not Jinx. I don't think it's fair for me, from all of the evidence the text presents, that only Vi has an issue with enforcers. I think Vi has a extra issue with enforcers. Sorry, go ahead.
I think Jinx has a big issue with Vi turning on her. And the enforcers are actively out to get Jinx at this moment. So therefore, seeing her in an enforcer outfit is seeing her as turning on her. Especially considering that Vi's coming to get her.
Well, it's knowing that your sister, in her perspective, in Jinx's perspective, seeing her in an enforcer costume means I know my sister hated enforcers. She turned on everything she believed.
Yeah.
You know, like, and enforcers to them, I think Undercity as a whole is like a no-no. Like, anybody in the Undercity would probably have disrespect on you for dressing as an enforcer and not trust you anymore, let alone the whole, I don't know, trauma. Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you. The fact that the enforcers killed their parents. So, I don't know. So.
No, I think there's a lot of layers here. First of all, the enforcers killing their parents. Second of all, Vi turning on everything that she believes in. Third of all, Vi leaving Jinx to go to the enforcers specifically to.
And she was
she's a team to specifically capture Jinx.
That's so sad. And
like,
she's realizing
her
that
sister joined that team as a vital part of it.
Yeah, she's realizing that in this moment that like her sister is out to get her rather than be there for her. Chat, am I allowed to eat a cookie? If I ate a cookie, would you be annoyed? Is that okay if I eat a cookie?
I think
Let me
you
know.
can eat a cookie.
No, I need their approval. Okay?
Yeah.
I need their approval because they're gonna be the ones hearing me chew.
Say no.
No!
Chat, say no.
No, please!
Chat, say no.
Okay, whatever. If they say no, then... I won, yeah. Alright, we'll continue on while the votes come in.
Oh, there's a caveat here.
What's the caveat?
Can they sneeze?
Uh.
Ah,
Okay, but I gotta think about this. That's serious. You're
cookie
really
for a sneeze. That's their.
okay. Think about it. So at the very end of this scene, after they clear out the room, it's kind of a spooky scene. It's kind of fun. The tension's high as an audience member. Like, will they find? Will they not find? And they're kind of depersonalized with the figures and all the smog everywhere. Caitlyn has a moment, doesn't she? Doesn't she, chat? Doesn't she, SD? Would we say she has?
Kate does have her moment here.
By the way, cute. This gave me Iron Giant energy when
Yeah.
I put her big hand on. I was like, first off,
On her shoulder.
ouch! Like you could
Yeah.
totally crush.
Accidentally right on her shoulder.
Oh my goodness! I remember thinking like that would probably not be as comforting as it looks.
Yeah, the cold hard steel on her shoulder.
So, I don't know. Wouldn't that like weigh you down? You'd have to be really delicate. Maybe that shows how talented Vi is with these gloves now. She can intricately control the pressure and
Yeah.
all of that of where her hand is. Anyway, just
Yeah,
funny little
she
note.
has become very adept with these gloves.
Yeah.
In such a short amount of time.
So Jinx makes it out. Did I miss the moment? I
You
did.
did.
Okay.
Right before the Iron Giant scene. Right here.
Kate is kind of losing it. Kit Kat. Oh, can we call her
Kit
Kit Kat? No.
Kit Kat.
We haven't had Vi call her
Kit Kat.
Cupcake once, by the
We
way.
haven't.
Breaking my
I-
heart. Why not?
Because she's not a cupcake anymore.
But oh.
She's not sweet like a cupcake.
Oh. Sing.
She's lost that sense. She's lost that part of herself, I think.
Where is it?
Right after this. It's a few seconds after this.
Because she loses it, and
It's after they call queer.
You're right. Did chat say I could have a cookie?
They're very back and forth. I think it's a cookie for a sneeze at this point.
Okay, listen. I have 4 total cookies next to me. For each cookie I eat, you get allowed 1 sneeze. Okay?
You're gonna allow them 4 sneezes?
Yes.
Gross. That's disgusting.
Well, no, I might not eat all 4. I'll let them know
Okay.
each time I eat one.
Alright,
Okay.
right here.
Bam.
And she snaps.
Ooh.
She literally snaps.
Look at that frame. She's like, doesn't even look humanoid right there. It looks kind of terrifying.
Oh, the frame is different on your screen than it is for me.
Oh, yeah, chat, by the
I've
way.
just zoomed in on her rifle.
The sneezes are to be parceled between all of you, so use them wisely. I'm
Oh, so 1 sneeze for the entire chat.
correct. Be careful. I will be keeping an eye out for the sneezes. Alright.
Yeah, we can hear them.
So yeah, she just kind of loses it. And this is important. Even though it's a very small moment, it helps with the perception of where she's going.
Yeah, she's so angry that she didn't catch Jinx here.
And what might happen later on. So Jinx makes it out, and she's having a meltdown. Her meltdown's kind of similar to, it reminded me of when Powder has that meltdown when she's not allowed to go help. Like, she's really... like that same kind of scream, really heartbreaking abandonment, trauma, like that's gotta feel awful. Okay, alright, here we go. Did anybody at this point know what was in this bag? Because I was very curious.
I kind of did.
You did?
Yeah, because why else would she be holding up the arm with Sevika in the earlier conversation?
I didn't piece that together. Props to you.
Really?
I thought she was just kind of poking fun at Sevika. I didn't really think.
So I originally, when I first saw it, I thought it was her rocket launcher, but then when I saw it, when she actually picked it up and carried it with a bow on it, I was like, oh, okay, it's the arm. Because it's just too small. Like, it's too flimsy and small for it to be the rocket.
I guess. Okay, I'm eating my cookie, chat. So if you hear me
One
chewing,
sneeze, guys. One sneeze, guys.
one sneeze. For now. I'll probably eat all 4. But For me, I guess I wasn't fully convinced yet that she cared enough about Sevika to do that.
Hmm.
Like, I think after this scene, when Sevika helps her, yeah, totally. She'd be all for it, but did they really bond that much in that short amount of time?
I think so.
Okay. I'll take
Bonding
it.
over
Yeah, they just hated each other so much.
Yeah.
Jinx
now that
especially
they're-
was like, she couldn't clean up a dust bunny with a flamethrower, something like that. That's quite the insult.
I don't know. I feel like it's that sense of you hate the person that you work with, or like you hate, like they hated each other until they had something to bond over, and Silco's death was their thing to bond over.
Do you think Sevika knows then?
I think so.
Do you think
And
Sevika knows that she killed Silco and is still willing to bond with her?
Oh, that she knows that she killed Silco? I don't know, actually. I don't know if she knows that. I don't know who knows that at this point. I don't think she does.
She'd probably
Which
be
would
so yeah. Sevika would be probably pissed. Yeah.
Yeah. If they do explore that and she finds that out, I'm very curious to see if she knew already or not.
Hmm. No, she couldn't have known.
Yeah, I don't think she does. Which is probably why they bonded. But on Jinx's end, I can see them bonding for something. Especially
Alright.
because Jinx doesn't blame herself for it. Let's go! I get the shit on Smeech more.
Stop. Okay, guys, I'm eating my second cookie, so you're allowed a second sneak.
Oh my! You guys, you're just handing these things out.
No, I want my cookies. Okay.
This is crazy.
Oh wow, two people typed the exact same sentence. You guys are
Yeah.
spiritually bonded now forever. It's like identical, right?
Elder? Is that how you pronounce it?
That's cool. Blood related. Oh,
Yeah, you guys have to be best friends now.
I'm almost did, but there's a period at the end of theirs. Oh. Ah,
Home has to be proper.
yeah. Okay, so we see this person eating what Vi was enjoying, and she came down after prison. And we get a scene of Smeech. Dude, what a punch, by the way.
Yeah.
I was shocked Jinx was not knocked the fuck out after that punch.
The only reason I could see her not being knocked out is because of the shimmer.
Guys, let's see that punch again. We know we like violence here.
Such a bloody piece of octopus or squid, whatever that is.
Yeah, definitely a little too raw for my liking.
Yeah. Doink.
And like the camera tilt, so nice, so fun. Bink.
Yeah.
So this is one of Smeech's men. And Smeech is like, hey, I'm here. We're gonna take
Yeah,
you.
hit her so hard that he had to readjust his hand afterwards.
I didn't even notice that the first time.
Yeah.
They all kind of have the similar arms that Smeech has.
Yeah.
So this is when we get a sense. Oh, yes. Okay, this is what full set me on liking Smeech.
Nah. This is an act. All bark, no bite.
This crawling down the side, sitting there like the leg, like looking off and pretending to look off in the distance. I don't even care if he's not even thinking nothing. I like the aesthetic of it. Okay, it's so cool. And look at him crawl down like a little spider monkey. Oh, doing them drugs again. Oh, so
Mango, I think we're getting
creepy.
to that conversation.
Oh my gosh, yes! Like, how do you beat a
He's
creature?
a rat.
It's a rat with no wings.
Well, we're about to see.
Or a bird with no wings, it's just a rat.
How do you beat a? How do you beat him? Like, I don't know. Find out, I guess. I can't stop winning.
Oh man. I'm worried. As someone in chat said, this is the best fight scene so far. So, right.
Right through their
Oh, I didn't know how you felt about it. Alright,
fingers. You must be part eel.
We'll get to my thoughts.
okay. Basically, he's being threatening. Okay, yes, I'm glad I stopped it.
Oh,
This
that
is
I did not notice.
Really? Okay.
I was wondering where that came from.
This, I think, is the one she drew on before, like, from season 1.
Mm.
We saw her draw on when she was in her bunk bed.
Mm.
And I can't believe she's been carrying it around.
Carrying it around for so long, yeah.
It is a small detail.
One of her powder bombs.
I think it shows that she's still holding on to something.
Oh, that speaks. Hold on. That adds another layer to the next to their relationship.
Chat, is this the same one? I'm like 90.
If it is, that adds another giant layer to their relationship.
To whose relationship?
To Jinx and the little girl.
Why would that add to their relationship?
Because I said earlier that it kind of feels like a Vi and Powder relationship. Her using Powder's bombs. I don't know. It kind of adds that layer for me. As much as you don't think she's gonna be an impactful character.
I didn't say I don't think she's gonna be an impactful character. Do not misconstrue my words.
Okay, sorry.
Oh my.
Flat character.
I think she's gonna serve a functional purpose for Jinx. I don't think she's gonna be her own character. And like the way that Jinx and Vi and Caitlyn are their character.
Yeah.
I don't think she'll be that. I'll be surprised if she is. I'll be like pleasantly surprised, but I don't think she'll be that. No.
Yeah, but that does add a layer if that is Powder's grenade.
And why does that necessarily add a layer to?
Because I see them as a Vi and Powder relationship. Her using Powder's, not Vi's or not Jinx's grenades, but Powder's grenades to start out with. I don't know. It just it adds that artistic layer to it. Maybe not like a very super deep impactful layer, but
Okay.
her kind of becoming Powder, what Powder should have been, instead of what Jinx became.
So here we go. I almost said Schmeagol. Smeech gets real big. Can you imagine if Schmeagol had like prosthetic mechanical arms?
That's scary.
I liked his finger. His finger was cool. All you have to move is a nanometer for a split second, and then you're done. Your eyes cooked. But yeah, the scene was basically a fight scene.
I love Jinx's line here, though.
Sure.
Especially because of what he just said. Oh, I'm a guy who likes to get in close.
You want to talk on it because it was just her being threatening, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. But it adds to what I was saying earlier. This is the line I was talking about earlier, where everything that Smeech says, where he tries to like act threatening and like act tough, he gets turned on him so quickly, and he's like, oh, about it being like turned on him. That line, there's a line later on about that was your last. I thought you said that was my last deal, and he gets scared.
Yeah.
The wingless rat thing. Every single line that he has said to act tough has gotten turned on him. Like he's not that guy.
When he met me,
The fact that she moves towards his needle, crazy.
and when I killed him.
Yeah,
Dude, it's so close. Look how close that needle gets when she moves closer. Wow.
She'd be great at getting LASIK.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't need any numbing. I also like the imagery here of Silco, with the obvious thing of like Silco getting the needle injection in his eye. That's the first thing I thought of.
Especially because of its shimmer eyes.
Exactly. She has shimmer eye now. Oh, cool imagery comparison.
Yeah, that is. I didn't notice that, or I didn't think of that.
All right, we're here. We're to the fight scene. We're to the fight scene.
I can't stop winning.
Yeah, you want to explain that reference?
Oh, what, the meme itself? I don't know if you guys have seen the meme of let's go gambling. But that is all I had thought about during this entire fight scene once Sevika comes in, because every pull she goes, I can't stop winning. I can't stop winning. She just keeps getting great pulls.
It's Jinx's gun, right?
Yeah, that's Jinx's pistol.
Also,
the one that he smacked away.
I'm eating my third cookie, so.
Oh my god!
Third
you're just
sneeze.
giving these things out.
It's a fair trade. We made a deal.
Guys, you have 3 sneezes. Use them wisely.
Okay, so his little fan blade projects. Projects? That's not the right word. Yeah, maybe it is.
Protects. I do like the fan blade. I do like the functions of his arm. I will say that.
Need a slow-mo shot? How cool this guy looks. Like, his hat's so silly. He's so silly.
School is such a strong word.
I have never seen anything like it before. That my brain was just like, new. I love new. So, yeah. Projects reflex. That's the word I wanted. The bullet. And then one of them goes into one of his guys' necks, which is kind of funny. So, kills one of his own guys. And yeah, let's just talk about this fight scene. I'll let you go first because I think my opinions on this are a little bit stronger than yours, and I wanted to start off friendly and fun.
I enjoy the goofiness of this fight scene. I love and hate what Jinx has done with the arm. Specifically because it's not Sevika. It does not fit Sevika at all. What she's done with the arm, but it does fit Jinx. And I think it is a Jinx weapon, and her using this arm does align herself with Jinx a little bit more. But I don't know. I don't think this was my favorite scene by any means. I think this was one of the. I don't want to say weaker fight scenes because I did enjoy it.
No,
really
I
did
would.
enjoy it.
I would stand behind that. If I had to say out loud, I think this one the weaker. It's a fun fight scene, but narratively, I wasn't invested in this fight scene. Like the
It also
wait, hold up.
Another
Helder. So I don't understand how you don't like him and don't like the change in Heimerdinger because it's the same silliness. Heimerdinger. This is at least how I could try to explain that for you. Heimerdinger was a character that we saw throughout the entirety of season 1 and kind of started to set up a framework with him of what his normal level of silliness was. This guy kind of just exists in one episode, which is kind of sad. I was hoping he would be around a bit longer, but he was established as silly from the get-go, and as someone who is literally silly by name, I just enjoyed his silliness throughout, where Heimerdinger in my mind wasn't necessarily that kind of silly to begin with. Hopefully that makes sense. But back to this fight scene specifically, I wasn't really invested that much in this scene. It was fun, as in music, beats, and the animation as they kill it, as they always do, but there was, I guess it went a bit longer than maybe it needed to, and I would have preferred, let me find my right words before I get torn to pieces.
I will say there are two there's a couple things that I don't like about this scene and a couple things that I do like about this scene.
That's a good way to approach it. I'll help you with that.
I will say the one thing that I initially don't like about this fight scene is it does the same thing that we talked about before, where Sevika comes in the nick of time. Sevika fires off that bullet to save Jinx in the nick of time, like how Vi did for Jayce, how what was the other scene that we talked about? It's completely slipped my mind at this point already. But how it's happened too many times this season where people have come in. How the girl falls on top of Jinx and saves her, and Jinx saves her. Like it's happened quite a few times where these seem almost too convenient that it's like it either has to be pre-constructed by somebody outside in the narrative, or it's just almost unrealistic. But that is one big thing I did not enjoy about this, is her being saved once again, because it does feel a bit tropey.
Do you think she would have been able to get out of it herself, or do you think she was totally done for?
Well, with a shimmer in her, maybe, depending on how they played that. I feel like narratively they could have gotten her out of it herself.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because of how powerful Jinx actually is. But she would have ran. I don't think she would have fought.
Oh, apparently this is in the alley she lives by, so this isn't coincidence. I thought she just came out of the fighting boxing place.
Yeah, and she does mention that that Smeech doesn't know how to keep his mouth shut, so it hints that she knew that he would be tracking her down around here. But
yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know, just to keep an eye on it and to not interfere before that moment, to only interfere at the very last second is just very.
I can see what you're saying. Maybe you're tainted too from feeling like the others.
Yeah.
I can see like where
because it's kind of been an occurrence this season.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it's like too much of a There are moments where was disappointed that it wasn't different or stronger, but I see if you're like already precursor to feeling disappointed by that, then
Yeah.
this slight, because technically narratively it's set up in a way where she knew, and this all makes sense. But I think maybe the frustrating part, what I'm hearing you say, is the shot right before, like right in the hat, right before things went down, like the timing of it. Maybe if Sevika had showed up a bit earlier or something, or a bit later after the fight started.
It feels too picture perfect.
Okay, I can respect that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll see going forward how much they lean into that, or maybe if it was just a few little cases here and there.
Mm-hmm.
But I paused on the arm if we want to chat about that now. Because, like you said when you were talking about positives and negatives, some people would put this arm in the negative category, and some people put this arm in the positive category.
So I put it in both, but my negatives come for a reason that probably many people don't share.
Okay.
So my negative here is we're going to see Sevika use this arm to its fullest extent in this fight, right? We're gonna see
the
her flip
first
through a
time she
bunch of
puts it
modes.
on, right?
Yeah. We're gonna see her flip through all of the modes, right? And it feels like that. I feel like we're never gonna see it again, because we'll see Sevika participate in a fight again where she doesn't really. I feel like it's not as important, or it's kind of just on the back burner. Like she uses some of the functions, but it does not feel like it does in this fight. And that is something I really don't enjoy.
Speak to what hasn't happened, because you're saying I don't enjoy what hasn't happened. So we literally don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, but I hope they're not going down that path.
Okay, well, you don't know, stinker. So what? I don't like it. They haven't done it, but I don't like it.
But no, I just, it feels like one of those, you know?
Okay, well, we'll take that out, because if it does happen, then I'll be like, yes, sir, 100%, I feel you. But we don't know. I thought you were going more along the lines of she just equipped this thing and figured it all out real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that as well, but...
Wasn't there also, like, fireworks in there and stuff, too?
Yeah, at the very end, it's almost as if it knew that she finished off her opponent, which was very silly to me as well.
Very interesting arm. And she got it on quick. Like, this guy gets shot, goes down, we look back up, and this is on.
Yeah, she just clicks it in.
But it is very Jinx, I must say that.
It is very Jinx, especially with the mouth on the end.
I would immediately be annoyed, though, if I was Sevika. I'd be like, okay, I put on this arm, and then this massive mouth is, like, fighting and shaking my body around. Silly, but fun. Silly, but fun?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it is what it is. So then they have this fight scene. Music's fun. It's fast-paced. It's a teamwork moment, which was on SD's bingo card. And then here's the bomb that the kid threw. I mean, she did kind of figure it out, though. I mean, Jinx showed her to pull the lever, but she figured out, like, very quickly how much... Like, no, think about it. No, think about, for real. You have a prosthetic now that you have no limb there before, so the weight you're used to carrying around is very different. And, like, you know when you do, like, ab or whatever, if you lean slightly to the side, your abs have to pull you, like, left and right. I'm just saying the weight difference immediately is one thing that would take someone time to get used to. That arm looks heavy. It looks heavy and hard to swing. So even
it looks much heavier than her old arm as well.
So I'm not even suggesting the idea of like the funky mechanics that it has with the punching or whatever that. I'm suggesting any different prosthetic arm that you are not used to would take time getting used to. Period. Like how to move it around, how to shift your body in a way that would get it to move the way you want it to move. And it's very different than her other one. So
I mean, we do see it a couple times actually, I think, where she kind of looks like she's not like out of control of it. But I think that's more or less because of the functions more than the weight and the actual unfamiliarity of it.
Like she gets away with winning because there's just stuff in the arm.
No. I'm almost agreeing with you here.
Oh.
Where she does seem like it's out of her control. Like she seems like she's trying to get used to it. Like but it doesn't seem like it's because of the weight like it should be. Like I agree that it should be, like the weight should affect her a bit, but I feel like it's more because of the unfamiliarity of the functions that really like seem out of her control more than the weight and the difference of it.
Yeah, because Jinx is like, yeah, pull the lever, and then like she's constantly taken by surprise, like, oh wow, this thing's doing this thing now. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's one of those you really thought about it kind of things. It won't. I don't think it'd be an instant. I'm gonna successfully win a fight with this arm now. But oh gosh, look at this creepy little Schmeagle. Is that what he's called?
Schmeagle.
So Kid throws the bomb, kind of sharing a moment. Little gun shared moment. Oh. Oh, I just love it. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. Sorry, but like, what is this?
He is a rat.
So they're gonna fight, and it's a fun fight. What are the abilities of the arm? There's the punching bag, the
chomp chomp chomp.
And then what's the finisher one we didn't
get to see, no, but I assume that it's just eating him alive. Yeah, it extends out.
Oh, then it starts playing Jinx's song.
I love that. I do love that. I love her little dance too.
And she seems annoyed. Sevika's like, yeah.
I love
really?
Jinx's little dance.
It fails one time, right? Yeah, like she doesn't get.
Oh yeah. Oh dang it.
Oh dang it. Oh dang it. I feel like she's able to hold it up pretty well already, which is
yeah. And then back to I can't stop winning.
And then a puncher sucked to the face. I just want to know how that's all stored in there. But I guess it's not, this is where I feel like it's the not the cartoony, the comic book energy again.
Yeah, and right here, like, this is where I'm saying she loses control of it a little bit. But even then, it's not because of the weight or anything or the unfamiliarity of it. She obviously can control that. It's just, it's more of the unpredictability of it that makes her lose control for a second.
Because it's chomping away.
Yeah. Like, she's like, whoa, stop chomping, That, it doesn't feel the same. Like, it doesn't feel like it's the reason that it should be. But
that's gonna be my new background, by the way. The frame right before this with Smeech in the
you
air.
Want Smeech?
Yes.
Okay, you know what? You enjoy that.
I will enjoy that. It's just big. Like, look at that. That's a heavy weapon. You need to have a lot of constitution to be carrying that weapon around.
Especially the end of it. If the top of it was a little heavier, I'd even say like that's a little more fair. But it's the end of it. The end of it is going to mess with your leverage so much because now you're swinging the heavy part.
It's also super long, right? So even if like she had a robotic arm before, that arm was not like she would be used to a different dynamic.
Yeah, a different weight. Yeah, and the weight's hanging is like my biggest thing is like that weight, like it's so far from her, it's so far out of her control that it would be controlling her a lot. Also, there's his line.
Yeah, you already made that offer. Like you already made your last offer.
Yep. Turned against him.
It was fun.
Ninja stars.
It was fun. It was a fun scene.
I think this is a very fun scene.
But I wasn't that invested as a viewer, personally. So I was kind of
I enjoy the fight.
Yeah, no. I'm just sharing my experience with it. I was not as enthralled with it as I was. I think it's probably the least investment I had in a fight scene so far. Not that I wasn't present with it. I was just like, okay, here we go. So to why that is, it might be because Smeech is a character that was just introduced, and he's also kind of a dick. I'm not sure, but I liked watching how he used his arms at all the gross positions that he got into. Then he gets incinerated? ?
Yeah.
But it was really fun. It felt like I was reading through comic book panels.
Also, I'm curious as to what that counter does. I don't think we get a clear explanation on that.
Like what is this?
Okay, him catching himself was very sick.
What is this? Like, ugh. No. Icky goo. So, he's dead. Smeech is dead. Call him a rat. And kind of... The fireworks were in it, too. Where was all of this in the arm? Does she have to reload all of this stuff now? Does she have to, reload the boxing arm, reload the mouth?
No, the boxing arm was going to retract, I guess.
Yeah.
Spring. But, like, everything else, the ninja stars, the fireworks.
Ninja stars just to go collect and put them back.
Yeah, the fire, the ice.
Needs to refuel it. So the kids hanging around still, looking at the dead bodies, kind of not even really that disturbed by it. Oh my gosh, yes! Okay, I kind of want to just finish this scene because the next scene is so good. Anything else you want to talk about for this scene?
No, I think I shit on Smeech enough. It's alright.
Wow. Okay, so in summary, what happened here is Sevika helped save Jinx from an attack from Smeech because she overheard Smeech. Smeech can't keep his mouth shut, basically, is what she says. And because of this, they have a bonding experience where there's definitely more trust between each other now. And Jinx shares with Sevika that she's planning on taking out the rest of her family. It seems like Sevika's gonna help. So, and the kid's just there. Now back to Viktor!
And now we go frame by frame.
Oh, okay. So, he's being followed by the Shimmer Addicts. Is that fair to consider all of them Shimmer Addicts? Or people that have been really forgotten about and are suffering greatly? I think this is the same spot we get to of when Vi and Caitlyn fell down. I think we're on the same
pretty
depth.
Close.
So, we see him follow the magical footsteps that kind of appear periodically, and we learn that ends up being Sky's footsteps. You want to talk about your boy since you love him so much? I don't think I'll do him as much justice with his cute dialogue and character choices here.
Careful not to
Oh.
scrape up the gear.
I mean, if you want, I can talk about it, but if you want, because I know you love him so much, I don't want to do him disjustice.
What, Huck?
Yeah.
I love Huck.
And talk about it.
I will.
Because
I mean, like,
for this whole scene, he's really trying to do something that I don't think he wants to do, right?
No, not at all. I don't think he actually wants to do this, but he's so far down into the addiction that he's gonna figure out what, like, he saw that. He saw Viktor walking by him and saw that he kind of looked rare, exotic, I guess, like he didn't belong down here, and immediately saw his gear as something to take, steal, and sell for more shimmer. And like whatever he can do to get more shimmer, and like that's the addiction mindset, and I feel so bad for him because he's so stuck into that. And I love what Viktor does for him here, because Viktor I understand why Viktor is going to be the Messiah. He's going to have like a cult following him, because there's no way he won't after this.
Oh yeah, it definitely is implied at the end. Everybody's bowing down, like on their knees.
Yeah, and you can tell like Huck really doesn't want to do this. Nothing personal. Like, oh, I love him so much. I hate the path that he was forced to take.
Yeah, Game made a good point in chat. They also need something to eat as well, probably at this point. I mean, they all look pretty thin, and they were digging through the trash for food. Viktor did come from the Undercity, or how do I put this? Viktor's relationship to the Undercity is really awesome, because it's one of the only characters we see connected to both the upside and the city.
Yeah, like deeply connected to both. Deeply
connected to both, right? Has relationships with characters in both. So I liked seeing him come down to I don't want to say back to where he's from, but when I think of Viktor, I feel like he feels more at home with people that would be in the Undercity. Like, the political game wasn't really for him. He just was really invested in his science. So, Yeah, he sees this. He immediately sees through the pain and just walks right towards him.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yes,
gotta
he
be
ain't gonna hurt
funny.
him.
And he's like scouring or cowering. You know, props to Huck though. He's got a sharper blade than Smeech's
Yeah.
guy did.
Look at that. That is a fine apex on that blade.
Definitely. But too bad he's not gonna use it. Can you imagine just Victor gets stabbed here? That's the end.
Yeah,
of
he
this.
just charges out of full force. Victor's storyline ends here.
What I did want to talk about in my notes here was when Victor does this healing moment. Does this take something from Victor, or is it just because it's the first time that it causes Victor to fall to his knee?
I think it takes a lot of power and a lot of energy. Because this doesn't seem easy to do. I don't know if it necessarily takes something from him that he'll never get back, but I do believe that it takes like an incredible amount of energy. And he'll need to recharge in between each person that he does this to. But I don't know what the permanent effects will be, if there will be any.
Wolf! Hello. That's
Say
interesting.
hello.
Wolf pointed out that Huck and Victor both have been affected by Shimmer, so maybe that's something to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would
And
kind of... He is 1/3 Shimmer at this point.
I want to see where Huck goes after this. I'm so excited to see him. I really hope that they're going to bring him into like a more impactful role in the story.
They could, because he's the first one healed, so he might be like, come convert.
Yeah, the leader
The leader
of whatever cult.
I mean,
But-
Nin says, in their opinion, Victor might have absorbed the sickness out of Huck, because he... first off, let's just admire the animation that goes here. They did a phenomenal job of making this not seem like an easy task.
No, not at all.
Everything that was occurring. It looked painful. I kind of felt bad for Huck. I was curious if Huck would survive such a thing. There was also a little bit of me for a slight bit that was worried. Not worried. For a split second, alright, chat? A split second. Was Victor going to, like, take his life? Like, make him not suffer anymore?
Yeah, so much senseless pain,
Death. I wasn't sure. Because this is kind of the first choice we see him making, right?
And when I saw all the metal flying towards him, I really thought he was just murdering him. I was so scared for a moment. I was like, there's no way they're gonna take Huck out.
Well, they took the yuck out of Huck, that's for
They
sure.
took the yuck out of Huck.
But they make a beautiful animation, again including that organic circle shape. And then we see Victor's leg shake.
Yeah.
His left leg, or his right leg on our left, shake and then fall. And I was like, oh no. And then Huck. Let's get a look at Huck. Wow.
That man.
Wow.
Look at that man. What a glow up. Half up, half down hairstyle. He already had that stuff tied up. Oh my god. Look at my boy. He's thriving.
And it looks kind of similar to Victor, but just it's Victor's entire body.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was just curious if maybe because it was so powerful, so much energy cost, that's why Victor fell, or I was really worried that Victor would be self-sabotaging, self-sacrificing, and maybe he was just gonna heal everybody to his detriment, which I could see Victor doing, honestly. He's been set from day one, I feel like, with a motivation to help those in need. Yeah, he's just admiring his new face being cured. And everybody sees that. Sorry, go ahead.
Was that sweat or was that a tear from Victor?
Let me see.
Because like I originally thought it was a tear, but then I also saw one on his forehead.
Oh, I think it's sweat.
Okay. Well, from his left eye, not his right. I saw one from his left eye. It was the one I'm talking about. I don't know if it's here or not.
It looks like it took a lot out of him. Actually, that's a good point. The sweat might make it more of like, this costs a lot of energy. And then the imagery we get of like this light.
Yeah, right there.
I think that's still sweat.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. You need not suffer anymore. He's still not speaking in a... He's speaking like a messiah, really.
Yeah, he's not speaking like Victor. You need not suffer. Look at his eyes.
Yeah, his eyes have the. They remind me of the eye that you can get in Inscription. You know what I'm talking about?
The one that allows you to see things. Or...
Yeah. That's all I'll say. Shouldn't play Inscription. They all fall to their knees, and then we get
the eye that allows you to see things. Yeah, I guess that is very vague, huh?
God, I can't spoil Inscription.
Yeah, no, not at all. Guys, go play Inscription.
So it seems like this is why, potentially, Sky led him here. And then we see when he looks back up, Sky's here. And we get, like, really holy, powerful music going on. I'm curious if they're gonna have them do stuff. Like, hear me out. I feel like it'd be a little weird if... Okay, do we think she's a ghost? Do we think he's seeing her? Do we think she's actually there? Do we think he's... Like, what do we perceive as happening here with her? Because she has this faint glow. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but this faint blue glow. Was she absorbed into the hex tech and now is permanently in like a magical plane? And this will get into once, especially at the end of episode 3, we will have a lot to talk about. But I'm getting worried about the complications of writing for magic because it can get difficult, and I feel like they've been doing pretty good so far with trying to explain how things are working and keeping it a bit easy to understand, I guess. Wait, actually, was that this episode with... I think it was. Oh my gosh, was that this episode when Jayce was talking to Ekko about how the magic works, or is that episode 3?
I believe they hint on it in this episode, but no, they actually talk about the specifics of
how it functions.
Episode.
Okay, well,
yeah,
awesome. Because that was
I
interesting.
I was looking forward to that too, and I wanted to pause on that, but then I realized that it wasn't that scene.
Oh, Mango has an interesting theory. They think Sky is a manifestation of the hex core to manipulate Viktor.
And so, I tend to agree with that theory. I think.
No,
I honestly don't. I honestly don't know.
I don't, because what would the benefit to healing sick people be for hex core? Like a sentient, evil, manipulative thing.
Maybe not evil, but I don't know if it's Sky.
Okay, so like
that's what I'm saying.
yeah, I don't know if it's Sky either. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like it has its own sentience and has its own goal. You know?
Yeah.
Is that what? Because it almost feels like this goal is still Viktor oriented to me.
And honestly, the benefit of healing people is to create a cult. Oreo, can we some?
Ooh, that could be it too, I guess. To spread the disease. Interesting. So maybe he's not just cured. Is that what maybe the suggestion? Maybe he's also somewhat magically imbued now?
That is true. Take out the shimmer, put in the magic? I don't know. I'm excited to find out, but... Or it could be consuming the shimmer for its own power.
What is shimmer at the end of the day?
Because they did say... Somebody said earlier... I want to see if I can find it because I feel bad just saying somebody.
There is Jesus. I think that's the imagery they're going for, especially here at the end.
Let me find this.
This image is strong. Oh yeah, Sky doesn't have glasses now. Fuck not needing glasses before as well.
Oh, Nin said, I also thought maybe Viktor absorbed the sickness out of Huck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that may be possible. And
that's not sustainable though. He would definitely not make it long.
No. What if it's the opposite? He's absorbing the shimmer. Maybe not the sickness, quote unquote, but he's absorbing the shimmer and getting that power out, because we know that the magic core or the hex core was infused with shimmer.
Okay, let's watch the animation again of what is occurring.
Yeah, when I was watching the animation though, it does not look like he's absorbing it. It looks like it's going outward.
Oh yeah, his arm is going, like the magic's traveling out from his arm into Huck. Let's see what happens after that. Interesting that it's like unscrewing bolts. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like almost magnetic.
I'm just pausing it occasionally. Yeah, so nothing's really going into Viktor, it's all going out.
Yeah, which is what I was paying attention to after I saw that comment initially. But that is an interesting theory for that
Mm-hmm.
specifically. I'd be curious to see how this goes. I don't know. I don't know what the purpose behind this is, and I'm looking forward to figuring it
We're
out.
having fun theorizing, but I am worried for Victor because
I don't know the effect it'll have on him.
I mean, is he even Victor anymore?
Is he Victor anymore?
I mean, if anybody,
That is a very important question to ask.
yeah, I mean, maybe he should get a new name now too. Potentially,
The Messiah.
Messiah. I mean, I love the imagery though, with the light and the dust particles and the encampment around and the
Yeah.
arch, the big beautiful arch that he's right in the middle of with the kneeling. It's just okay. If you don't look at that and see like biblical or messiah or whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost looks like a mosaic.
yeah, with the glass pane.
Mm-hmm.
So we have another moment to talk about before we go.
Part 2 of Singed.
Yeah, so to speak on Singe real quick, because that's the scene we're getting. Singe has not gotten his own scenes, really. He's just kind of like, well, he's gotten scenes, obviously, but I mean, he is...
But he's gotten teasers.
Teasers, yeah, he exists within the sub-cracks of the story of Arcane.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we have room? Cool, let's put in a scene with...
Hey guys, he's still here. Gouging out wolves' eyes and taking out their hearts and teeth.
He's up to something.
He's up to something.
He's up to something. This is mostly... Oh. I like what they do with Singe, because he's forgotten about, really, in his own world. So it's kind of cool that we as the viewers mostly forget about him, except for when it's important, because I'm sure that he's gonna have a moment in this season where people will know the name of Singe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see him doing some science experimenty stuff, multiplying cells rapidly in almost a cancerous way, and then the last thing we see here, we hear it auditorily, but then it pans to it, is the heart, a heart beating, a double heart beating, being powered by mechanical goo. But yeah, we don't really know 100%. If you're kind of a fan of League and you saw a few things from season 1, you might know what's going on.
I know that it was mentioned that this is
Hey.
kind of known. I'm not saying anything because I don't know.
Okay.
But
but I wanted to talk about one more thing before we go, and that's the name of the show. It's called Arcane. So I know a lot of the fear going into season 2. There's a lot of talk about like worry about time travel. I think I've skimmed over a few theories. I just haven't read them because I still want to go into it fresh. I'm also worried about like the complications that magic can bring into things, because it has been really earthy and rooted in character, and because of that it's had like a sense of realism, because these characters feel relatable or understandable, and they're not lost in the sauce of a world of cool magic stuff. Yeah, but I wanted to talk about maybe why did you think they called it Arcane? Like, it is a specific choice to call it that, and we do know they're starting to lean quite heavily into the magical side of things. I think that could help us piece some things together. So I'm gonna read through chat, because that's a question for you as well. But ST, what do you think maybe is the purpose of calling it Arcane?
I mean, I think we're very heavily exploring, like, sorry, I had an interruption halfway through that, but so I missed the last tiny little bits. But like we're exploring the Arcane. I think. I mean, I think it's been like a maybe more of a background subject for the first season. Especially because like Jayce was just trying to work on Hextech and things like that. But I think it's become a lot more important in this season. And I think we're hinting towards the reason that we're calling it Arcane. I don't necessarily know if it'll go time travel wise.
Well,
Albeit I could see why based off some of the characters,
Just-
and I've heard a little bit.
to stick with the Arcane stuff, the reason why I bring that up is the same reason I think Julian might be talking about it in chat, is because Viktor is now embodying Arcane. He's embodying the Hex Core. So I almost feel like Viktor has become the most important character because of the show's name and because of how much power he now has.
Yeah, and the mage that we saw in the very first episode, I've heard a lot of people saying that it, like, obviously, I see a lot of back and forth between whether or not agreeing if it was Viktor who saved Jayce all that time ago, or if it was like a different mage that we already have a name to. I forget the name, but
Rise?
yes, Rise. Yeah. So I know there's like a lot of things with that, and if it was Viktor, then it would have to be some time travel stuff. But I don't know.
I can see what you mean with the, like, he's dressed in blue and
Yeah, and practically the same staff.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think he is becoming the embodiment of the arcane, and I think this is where Hex Tech was going, and maybe what Heimerdinger was really scared of.
Hmm.
But I think we're just at this point hoping that Victor, it's in the right hands, because he's seen what it's done to people. Heimerdinger, he's seen what the arcane has done to people.
You know,
And
you'd think he wouldn't be so lighthearted as someone who's lived that long and has seen what the horrors. He's
the
like,
horrors.
I've seen the horrors of the depths of hell. Hee 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 hee. Bubbles,
Let's play with
bubbles.
some bubbles.
Let's play with some bubbles.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna get flamed. That's okay. But
They're getting clipped immediately.
that's okay. That's okay. I ate all 4 cookies, so you're allowed 4 sneezes.
Oh, we're
And
sneezes, guys.
I'm gonna end it there. Thank you everybody that I recognize in chat for joining. This has been a lot of fun already. I will be streaming episode 3 Wednesday, 4 p.m. EST, so tune back in for that, because at the end of that we will have a lot to talk about, for sure. A lot of nerve-wracking stuff. And then feel free to join the Discord server if you want to talk about it more. There's a lot of lovely people in there who have fun talking about stories and things they're passionate about. So,
And a lot of them are already here.
yes.
So if you like these people that you've been chatting with,
Yes.
they're gonna like the Discord.
Yes. And because Wolf is here in chat, I wanted to say a personal thank you to Wolf for making my adorable blinking animation that you've seen above chat this entire time. I love it. Thank you so much.